Ladies and gentlemen, I have information that could lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. Everybody does. Actually, it's breaking news. The Clintons are refusing to testify in the Epstein case, and they're being threatened with contempt. Now, I know, cue the reaction. Everybody's laughing, saying there is no way either of these people will ever see the inside of a jail cell. Yeah, now with that attitude, you got to manifest it. I need everybody to sit there and just imagine in your minds the Clintons going to jail. Maybe. I doubt it. No, I agree with you. I doubt anything's going to happen. Because if you're Steve Bannon or Peter Navarro, they're going to lock you up in 2 seconds. But if you're the Clintons, you can destroy public records and acid wash a server, and everyone and their grandmother, liberal grandmothers, will protect you and make sure you don't go to jail. So let's read what this is all about. We also got the big news. Donald Trump said F you twice and flipped a guy off. Yeah. The video's going viral at I believe it was a Ford plant after he called him pedo protector over the Epstein files. So I guess Epstein's in the news again. But ladies and gentlemen, oh boy, we wouldn't have a good show for you unless we had a good laugh. And that is the Supreme Court hearing oral arguments over West Virginia's transgender sport restrictions. They don't want biological males in women's sports. And it's incredible. I mean, aside from Ketanji Brown Jackson being an unlimited source of just hilarity, because she clearly doesn't understand basic concepts like what is a woman, the question itself, what is a woman, has finally made it to the Supreme Court, and the response from the progressives has been nothing but pure entertainment. Yet they said we don't have a definition of what sex is. And Alito is like, then how could you have sex-based protections if you can't define it? So yeah, we finally made it. It took, 10 years to get to this point where the Supreme Court could finally be like, guys, if you can't define what a woman is, you can't have legal protections for women. And they're like, yeah. So we'll go over that. There's a whole bunch of other breaking news. The ICE agent involved in the shooting of Renee Good is reportedly in hiding and also reportedly will not face criminal charges, which everybody's freaking out about. At least the liberals are. People on the right are celebrating. So we'll get into all of that. Before we do, we've got a great sponsor for you, my friends. It is Beam Dream. Head over to shopbeam.com/Timcast, and you get to 35% off your nighttime blend to support better sleep. I am a massive fan of Beam Dream. I drink it every single night. It helps me sleep. It's improved my sleep score. I wake up feeling better. And it's got all the good stuff in it. It's got magnesium, it's got melatonin, it's got L-theanine, it's got reishi in it. And the best part is it's a delicious cup of hot cocoa with a bunch of different flavors. They got cinnamon cocoa, they got brownie batter, sea salt caramel, variety pack. You can get them all. Chocolate peanut butter. That's great. They even have a melatonin free if you got concerns about that one, and a salty dark chocolate. I drink it every night. Seriously, there's no added sugar. It's 15 calories. And I'm not even kidding when I say it does absolutely improve my sleep. When they first reached out to sponsor us, they sent us these samples. I tried them out. I'm like, we'll see how it is. After a couple days, I woke up feeling better than ever. I didn't even know I could sleep better. So check out shopbeam.com/Timcast. Shout out Beam Dream for sponsoring the show. And for those of you trying to stay awake, go to castbrew.com and check out our new Rum Runners Roast. It is Highlander Grog flavored coffee, and it is it's amazing and delicious. So I recommend you guys absolutely check that out. Pool water's gone, but it will be coming back soon. And I'm going to announce we got a new Alex Stein Cast Brew coffee coming up soon for Valentine's Day. You're not going to want to miss it. But in the meantime, pick up some Appalachian Nights, some Rise with Roberto Jr., and just support Cast Brew, support the show. Really do appreciate it. Don't forget to also smash that like button. Share the show with everyone, joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more. It is Kaitlin Bennett.
Thank you so much. That pool water is hilarious, by the way.
Oh,
that's a good one.
It was shout out to Andy on the crew. He came up with the idea because we were beefing with this water company, and then I think my brother was like, "You should sell water," and then Andy goes, "Pool water," and then we all bust out laughing. And my brother goes, "That's disgusting. Don't sell that." And then we sold it.
No, I love that. Thank you for having me on. This is very exciting. I'm out of my comfort zone, so I'm a little nervous. Usually I'm talking to liberals who want to hurt me, but this is going to be great. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Right on. We got Ian hanging out. He's back from quarantine.
I'm back, man. Back and ready for action. I'm an actor, musician, social media designer, entrepreneur. I've been making YouTube videos since 2006. I really care about using this powerful technology to improve the world. So let's do that. In the meantime, check out what I've been working on at graphene.movie if you want to see the documentary that we're producing right now. It's pretty awesome. Tate Brown.
What is going on, Patriots? Tate Brown here, holding it down. It is so nice to see Ian back. Like, everything in the world just feels normal. I felt just like in disarray. I didn't know what to do with myself, so it's so good to see you here.
That's the DMT.
He was he was quarantined because he was in the hospital.
Yeah, in and out of the hospitals, taking care of friends, taking care of myself, and we're all healing as a result. I feel pretty good right now.
Let's go.
Let's rock and roll.
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and counter-revolutionary. Let's get into it.
Here's the big story. Facing contempt threat, Clintons refused to testify in Epstein inquiry. Now, admittedly, I didn't know if this was actually going to be the biggest story because Trump also said F you and flipped the guy off over the Epstein files. And I kind of thought that would be more interesting to a lot of people because no one expects the Clintons to actually go to jail for contempt of Congress. So, I can't help it. We're going to be a little bit more serious, I suppose, and talk about the Clintons maybe going to jail. And by maybe, I'm thinking, like 0.01%. So the New York Times says the couple escalated their battle with Rep. James R. Comer, the chairman of the Oversight Committee, who said he would move to hold them in contempt of Congress. Quote, every person has to decide when they have seen or had enough and are ready to fight for this country, its principles, and its people, no matter the consequences, the Clintons wrote in a lengthy letter to Mr. Comer, the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, which was obtained by the New York Times. For us, now is that time. That's right, Hillary. That's right. Every person must decide when they're going to stand up and defend pedophiles like you are doing right now and risking jail time to do it. So it says a lot about you. But hey, I'm not cutting Trump any slack on this one. He's getting called a pedophile protector too.
I mean, everybody's calling everybody pedophile nowadays. Pedophile.
Everybody's fighting.
That's the new one. It used to be Nazi, and then Nazi lost its zing, and so they're just like, oh, well, just call him pedophile, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that anyone that's talking about Trump really believes any of it. I think it's just the most slanderous thing they can come up with. As for the Clintons, I mean, look, I'd at least like to see them actually in front of Congress, or at least I'd like to see indictments for them not showing up, because this is, like you said, what's his name? Steve Bannon went to prison for this.
Yeah, Peter Navarro did.
Peter Navarro went to prison for this. So if other people can go to prison, you'd think that, there would be some demand to be like, hey, you guys are doing the same stuff that just a couple of years ago we tossed someone in jail for. It's obvious,
Mm-hmm. In response, Hillary Clinton, of course, put out this, Hillary and Bill Clinton put out this big, long-winded letter. And instead of reading it to you guys, I'm going to just say, that's too long. I ain't reading all that. I'm happy for you, though, or sorry that happened to you.
Yeah,
That
for
Thomas
real.
Massey, is he? Did you see Thomas Massey posted that about some long ass Trump thing? That was great.
Well, Trump was insulting him or whatever.
Yeah, what's with these word cells putting out these like
Word cells.
Yeah, these Shakespearean responses. It's like,
It's the leftist meme, bro.
I'm not a pedophile. Here's like a 30-page essay on why I'm not a pedophile. It's like, dude, if you're not a pedophile, you got to write that much proving it. It's
And
like,
it's like it's by Ian explaining the difference between a 17-year-old and a 12-year-old.
You're just talking about that.
Look, the proper response is just lol, your mom. Like, that's exactly, like, if someone says, oh, you're a pedophile, it's be like, lol, your mom.
yeah, there's not really like a great response to like
how about
a
nuh-uh?
credible pedophilic charge, and then it's like no matter what you respond with, people are gonna be like, what?
You just say, nuh-uh.
Yeah, no,
Remember his
you.
first term,
You gay.
they would always chant at Trump rallies, lock her up.
Yeah.
And so maybe we have a promise that could be fulfilled here,
So
you know?
true.
It's been 10 years. 10 years.
It's a long
and finally, we're going to lock her up.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I'm going to tweet that.
That's what like American politics and this new generation is just like each party's, people just posting pictures of the opposing party's figures with the same pedophile.
Yeah.
It's like the
that's what it
most
is.
like bizarre situation.
You could also run the the rhetoric of "it's her turn." That was when she was
Oh,
running for office.
yeah,
Now you
yeah,
go,
it's
it's
her
her
turn.
turn to go spend some time behind bars like Peter Navarro did. Now
It's
it's her turn.
the fellas with the pedophile. We kind of been dominating the game for a while. Give the ladies a chance. Maybe they should go to Epstein Island.
I'm going to put that on my resume that I have inspired a Tim Pool tweet.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to put that on my
There's
resume.
a
You have to
LinkedIn
tweet
badge for
those
it. Yeah.
for you. I think that these guys aren't they're going into contempt because if they did, okay, firstly, if they came out and they told everybody everything they wanted, they'd probably get assassinated by people. So they're like, okay, we can't.
The Clintons?
Yeah.
They do that. It's not. They don't
That's
get
like their
that.
thing.
They're not
They
the
can't turn on their own
They're not
network.
the receivers.
That would be
They're
like
the givers.
Spider-Man getting wrapped up in a web. It's like,
Yeah,
no,
right?
that's his
That does-
thing.
that doesn't
There
happen.
were other Spider-Men
Yeah.
in their webs too, because I think they were part of a power game that they can't really expose, and they'd rather just let their lawyers defend them from the contempt.
Well, the whole thing with like the Epstein files is just like the most powerful man on the earth isn't gonna like nuke any files that implicate him in pedophilia. Like what? Like literal, basically the king of the world for 8 years. He's like, oh, I forgot to delete the file that like inculcates me in this like massive pedophile ring. It's like, no, all of this stuff has been wiped off the face of the planet. There's not really much that we can do about. I mean, it's kind of a black pill for everybody in the audience, but it's like they mop this stuff up all the time. If there really was a situation,
That's the most likely situation, in my opinion.
You know what's really difficult is everybody's fighting. Like just pick somebody on the right and pick somebody else, and they've got a beef for some reason, and it's really demoralizing. And at the same time, Bill and Hillary Clinton are never going to go to jail.
yeah.
So we're sitting here being like, we're fighting against these vile, evil people. Trump claims the Epstein stuff's a hoax, so that's not getting taken care of. The Clintons are never going to be held accountable for what they did. In the meantime, everybody's fighting each other, and I'm just sitting here being like, man. It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a drag. It is.
Yeah.
It is fairly blackpilling to know that they're going to say no, we're not going to go, and it's likely that nothing's going to happen. I will say there are rumblings that Donald Trump is now unhappy with Pam Bondi, and if that's the case, and he were to put a different AG in, you might see someone that has a little more.
Who's going to get approved?
I have no idea.
That's the
but-
tricky thing. It's tighter than ever. So it's like, I mean, Bondi, for what it's worth, I mean, everyone has their take on Bondi, but like for what it's worth, she is fairly compliant with Trump. I mean, like you go back to the first term, his relationship with the AGs was very contentious. So it's like,
I'll do it.
It's an
Make
upgrade.
me AG Trump.
I think Trey Gowdy was who they were looking at. At least that's what I read on the internet.
I'd be the worst AG imaginable.
What would you do?
Because I'd like go on Fox News and just be like, I am going to arrest all of you, and then the attorneys would be like, we can't do that. Like,
You'd be like, well, then
it's gonna
I
go
guess I have
grand
to
jury.
arrest myself too.
And then
Take
I'll be
me in,
like,
boss. And you're
I'm
like,
gonna
what?
go
You're my
do
boss.
it myself. You know, the thing is, everybody's ragging on Dan Bongino, and because we had Chris Pavlovsky was on, and he was saying, well, Dan can't actually go and do it. Like he doesn't arrest people. Like they lead investigations. The DOJ has to go carry those out, and then there's federal agents who go and do that. And I'm like, you mean like the FBI? So I'm just like, I don't know which job you have to give me, but I will just go and arrest them.
Grab
And
him.
I like this is the problem. The problem is that it would be functionally worthless, but it would be emotionally satisfying. And that's all we really need. All we really need is for a guy with a windbreaker with the FBI in it to walk into the Clintons' house and walk him out, bring him to processing, and then when the U.S. attorney and the corrupt deep state lets him go, well, at least you got the TV screen. You know what I mean?
You got the perp walk.
You got the perp walk.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll do it.
They should put Timcast in charge of like the entire like intel apparatus. From the
Oh,
Timcast Stapo, and we could like
I do
that'd be great.
Cilantro gone.
It's not gone.
Caraway, fennel, anise gone.
Paul McCartney tries to make music again. Nope.
No.
Banned.
What? You guys are living in bizarro world.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
with Tate on this
I'm
one.
listening to some Beatles
Yeah,
and just
No,
making the bang
I
and a
never said anything about his
cilantro.
old music.
It's the new stuff.
Yeah, the new stuff.
The new stuff,
when
you're done.
Him and Lennon were
Rod
quite a
Wave
team.
tries to make music. You're done. Like we're gonna run a tight ship. America we'll mop it all up in like a year.
Well, how do you feel about?
We like kick the door in at Spotify and we're like, delete those songs.
Yeah.
How do you feel about cilantro?
I personally, coriander. You know, we don't need to like. This
like
is
that's
kind of
a
like with the
deflection,
transgender
Tate.
thing where you're using their new name. It's like you're kind of buying into the reality. It's coriander. Cilantro is imposed on us by mass immigration.
You know what?
Coriander. I
He's
feel
right.
strongly about this.
He's right, because isn't cilantro like the Mexican way
the
to say
Mexican way of saying it. I mean,
Yeah.
what next? We're gonna start saying siesta instead of nap.
They
you know?
all
Like, what are
both
we
got to
doing?
go though.
it?
It's
I say
terrible.
afternoon nap.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Hey.
Snooze. Whatever happened to a snooze? You know? Who says snooze?
That should be like a
Is
road
siesta,
name out here.
I know that it's Spanish, right? Siesta, or is it Italian?
It's Spanish.
Oh, it's
And the
Spanish.
funny thing is too, like I think cilantro. It's a Spanish saying, which Spanish is European, and it's funny that like
barely.
remember when that viral video of that woman? She was like, which like she said something like, if you're white, you can't speak Spanish. It's white supremacy or something,
Killer.
cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
And then someone made a video where he's like, I'd like to introduce you to the country of Spain. Just they're white people in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They forced that language on those. I was gonna say brown.
Mestizos.
I don't like qualifying
people.
people's color, skin tone. You know, we're all human.
Mestizos.
You know,
Yeah, the mestizos.
they make
The
that.
native Central Americans and the mestizos are the mixed race.
No more Aztec for you. You're speaking.
Yeah.
They'll make us think about
Was it
that, but I
called
called.
Aztec?
I don't know. Olmec. What did they speak? I'm gonna ask ChatGPT.
Olmec is a gigantic Pacific Island thing, isn't it?
The Olmecs.
Yeah, that was a Pacific Island thing. That was a Mexican thing. That was just racist, Ian. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I apologize for all the racist stuff I
Well,
said.
there is the theory.
Someone was
That's
talking.
not good
Someone was
enough.
talking.
That's not good enough.
Yeah, and there's
That's
the
not
theory
good
of the
enough.
global Latina belt. So, like, at a certain parallel, everyone's just Latinos, like Filipinos, Latinos.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Indonesians, basically.
What language did the Aztecs speak before they got conquered by the Spanish?
Conquered.
Let's find out what ChatGPT thinks.
The Aztecs spoke Nahuatl.
See?
Nahuatl.
What? What kind of
It's
minion language is that?
Nahuatl.
Nahuatl.
I called Anna de Armas a brown girl one time, and the internet had a problem with that. She's Cuban, and so I was like, "Oh, she's a brown girl."
But
And they were
Cubans
like,
are
"No."
mostly of like Spanish.
Yeah, they were like, "No, she's Spanish. She's a white girl." Blah
Dude,
blah
this
blah.
is
They
the
were
problem
mad.
with the classification of Hispanic because Lionel Messi is 100% Italian, but he's Hispanic. But if his ancestors went to New Jersey, he'd be white.
Bro,
Like, it's the
Hispanic
most
means you-
broken system.
It means you speak Spanish.
And if I got a tan,
So-
I'd be like, "Yo, I'm brown," and it wouldn't
Yeah.
be a racist thing.
Right.
And if you learn to speak Spanish, you'd be brown and Hispanic.
Right.
I'm down.
See, I learned I learned Spanish, so I can't say I can't speak Spanish. I say I refuse to speak Spanish. It gives me some dignity, you know.
So you're Hispanic.
Yeah, brown, Tate Brown, Hispanic. I lived in Texas. Like,
You like
come on.
There you go.
really strike me as a guy that is fluent in Spanish.
Poquito. Yo así ayer. No, yo no así ayer. Something
Hispanic is a Spanish-speaking person, especially one of Latin American descent living in the U.S.
like that. Especially.
Yeah, like literally. So if I, a Korean, white mix guy, learn Spanish, I'm Hispanic, and it's funny because everybody thinks I'm Hispanic anyway, so I just roll with it.
They really?
Are you
Google's
only-
crazy with that definition, by the way. They're like Hispanic, especially you, Latin American. Like, it's like, whoa.
And it indicates while you're speaking Spanish, you're Hispanic, but when you stop, you're no longer Hispanic. I know that's not what they intended
No, it's like a
that definition to
temporary.
mean.
Yeah, it's a temporary state of being.
Starting to
think.
make more sense in
Yeah.
this postmodernistic
So then,
world.
what is Latino then? Is it anyone that speaks Spanish?
Well, so that's the thing is because Hispanic is Spanish, so then Brazil's not included.
No.
but then
Hey, hey,
Spain
hold
is
on.
included. But the Latino is Brazil, not Spain. It's
Why is it called Latin America? The French speak a Romance language, and they went to Canada. We don't call that Latin
yeah,
America.
Rome didn't conquer South America.
Yeah.
The Tate brothers are
guess
Latinos
the-
because they live in Romania and they speak a Romance language as well. Latin
yes.
language. So.
Is it because the Holy Roman Empire is like the is they're not Latins? I gotta ask ChatGPT. I don't want to keep derailing the show to ask
well,
ChatGPT
the Holy Roman Empire
stuff.
is dominated by the Germans in
We'll
the
find
end.
out.
So
It's called Latin America because they mainly speak Romance languages.
Oh,
Okay.
they are very romantic.
So I'm going to
people.
refer to Canada as Latin America.
And romance is obviously from
Quebecers, congrats,
Roman.
Latinos now and Latinas.
That's right. Just Latinos.
Isn't it interesting that the word romantic? It's such a beautiful word, but it's like from Romans. Roman,
Right.
like romance.
They're pretty
Roman-
romantic. You know.
well,
yeah,
conquering.
Portuguese
What a
is a
psyop.
Romance language as well. So
Can we
This is something we need to investigate.
Yeah, the
We
Romans
should-
got us.
The
We
important
should-
stuff.
Let's jump to the funnier side of the Epstein story with this from CNN. Trump appears to flip someone off at a Ford plant. The White House says it's appropriate.
Appears.
And,
So true.
I love.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. Here's the video.
This is very
and
standard Donald
it's,
Trump.
it's clear as day. He says "F you" and flips the guy off. Dude,
It's so beautiful. We have just been waiting for this. We're so sick of it. Like
Yeah.
that's how everyone feels about the left.
Yeah, literally.
That's how they all
yeah,
feel.
but this is not a leftist. This is a guy who called him a pedophile protector, and Trump said he very clearly says, look at F you again, you.
Twice.
Here's the bird. Boom, the bird. Oh, he gave him the
back
bird.
it.
Daddy's back.
It's clearly getting to Trump. He's burned by this in the Beltway. This is a very political thing. I don't think regular people care as much. A lot do though. A lot do. But it's nowhere near the top of the list for normies. But there is, with the retard right expansion, a lot of regular people who are being pulled into this, and I think it's intentional, from Google, from Facebook, and these other big platforms. They want the right to be in the space, and they want the left to be coming off, or the corporate press to be coming off as more reasonable to try and take back the narrative. You can clearly see it's getting to Trump when he does this. And I don't know if you guys saw that video where Trump was talking about how Melania says it's inappropriate to dance. It's not presidential.
Yeah.
He was, yeah. I don't know where
didn't see
was
that.
he?
He was just doing a speech.
He was doing a speech somewhere, and he was like, Melania says she doesn't like it what I did. It's not presidential. And that's certainly not. And it shows that it's getting to him, man.
Didn't he say something like FDR didn't dance or something like that in the same speech?
Something like that.
Really?
No,
That guy was paralyzed, crippled with polio, though.
Yeah, he
But
couldn't
I think
dance,
that's
yeah.
the joke.
Well, when you say it's getting
for
to
all those
him,
kids out there that didn't know, sorry, Kaitlin.
no, it's okay. When you say it's getting to him, do you think it's more like he's sick of the allegations because they aren't true, or you like feel like he's feeling the pressure of
Both.
Yeah.
I mean, not that. So let's clarify the not true thing.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think two things. First, there are people who are like, Trump is in on the Epstein stuff and covering up. No, that's stupid. He's not. However, Trump is covering up, I think, because he wants to wield the power of the Epstein files. It's probably very complicated. The files are probably gone. So there's probably nothing he can release. They've been releasing a bunch of files, but there's nothing really at all that interesting in it. Democrats are weaponizing it. It could be that the reason Trump didn't want to release it is because you can see what Democrats have done so far. They took a photo of Trump at like some Hawaiian celebration and then redacted the faces of all the women and then tried to trick people into thinking he was like with a bunch of young girls or something. But the photo was from a newspaper and it's just like very well-known old photo of like they're wearing lace around their neck or whatever. That could be it. I think there's Saudi royalty implications in the Epstein files. I think that there's billionaires and millionaires. And I think Trump's attitude is, why should the U.S. face massive collateral damage, degradation of our international relations over these pieces of trash? So he's going to wield the one ring. He doesn't want to give that power up. That being said, he's already instructed the release of these files because I think the pressure did get to him and he realized he's not winning this one. I think he's largely pissed off just because he can't win it. And I got to tell you, man, there is how do I describe this? There's a vibration in the universe. We can all feel it, right, Ian?
Yeah.
Yes. And that wavelength, I'm joking. It's something Ian would say.
Oh, we can, though.
Right.
Whether or not we are feeling it is up to us.
Is this the new age stuff?
Don't you feel like Trump right now?
Deeply.
When
like,
Trump just looked the guy and said, F you, and flipped off, isn't that exactly how all of you feel about all of this right now?
I'm in a place where, like, what really matters is coming into focus, friends and family and health and all these things. And like things like this are just fuck off, dude. Like get your shit together, brother.
That's what Trump is feeling. We are all feeling it. We are all connected by vibes.
Yeah, because Trump is literally like the avatar of the American people, like the real, like core American population. He is our avatar. He was like the manifestation. That's why he's big. He's loud. He's like just like sick and awesome
America's
and everything.
id.
Yeah, he's literally just like he's channeling the American spirit. He's just like mad. He boom, F you, flip the bird. Like sometimes you have to have a Patriot go off moment. He's at a Ford factory, so like the cars probably kept breaking down, so he's mad because it's like a Ford.
He's both the id and the Quidjibo.
With the Quidjibo? I don't know what the Quidjibo is.
That was for Richie.
Okay.
If you're watching.
Is that like a Japanese thing?
Man, you guys.
I remember the
are
Quidjibo,
uncultured.
dude.
You do.
Yeah, but
You
I
know
don't remember what
Quidjibo?
it is. I'm looking it up.
Do I have
Tell
to
me.
culture you
Yeah.
heathens?
Yeah. It's been a while.
Can you
Heathens?
yeah, can you
Oh,
can you
I
educate
I
us?
believe it was actually the first episode of The Simpsons outside of the Tracy Ullman show where they were playing Scrabble and Lisa used the word id and Homer said, that's not a word. And she says, yes, it is, and shows him. And then Bart looks at his letters and it's a bunch of trash spelling Quidjibo and he puts it up. And then Homer's like, what's that? And he's like, it's a large ape-like creature with a short temper and prone to violence.
And then his
So
dad
I
goes for his
think it
throat.
applies.
Yeah, Trump is the Quidjibo. Trump is a manifestation of people's deep-rooted feelings in a lot of ways. You know,
So-
we all
my,
are,
my,
I guess.
my point is about what Trump is feeling. It's a combination of things, but I think in the political space, what I saw, I have seen on the ground. Like I told that story of when I was hanging out at Charlestown races, and I was playing old Mississippi Stud, if you know what that is, gambling, as it were. And the dealer there said he was a big fan of the show, and he people always say like, oh, Tim comes and hangs out, and then he said something like, he said two things. He said, I unsubscribed from Charlie Kirk the other day because I just realized he's never coming back. And I was like, yeah, that's really sad, man. It's a sad thing it's like a simple gesture for just a person. Because this was over Thanksgiving. But for him, he was saying like he watched Charlie all the time. They killed him. And so he went to his page, saw it, and he just went unsubscribe. Yeah. And then he said, to be honest, I've kind of stopped watching a lot of content just because it's the same thing every day with nothing being resolved. Like, I got to be honest, the Hillary Clinton may be arrested story is like the 4th or 5th time for the exact same reason. In fact, the New York Post titled the story again. They said, Bill and Hillary Clinton face jail again. And so when I see Trump and someone screams pedophile protector and he just points at him and says, F you, and flips him off, I'm like, I think tons of people are just at that point where they're just like, I don't care anymore. Oh my God.
Yeah, I keep finding gratitude for people that are annoying me or that are just, whatever, stuck in it, because the gratitude will help them. Even if someone insults you, if you're like, thank you for offering me anything at all, they're pretty good. The frustration, it's just like, appreciate that it's still going on. Like this show, like I don't want to talk about Hillary Clinton's butthole, but like here I am. What a fucking opportunity this is to heal the world. That up? What's that? Oh, I'm just thinking of the deepest, darkest, potentials of where we could go.
He's the only one thinking about Hillary Clinton's butthole, by the way.
Definitely
not thinking or talking about.
We were talking about, me and Kellen were talking about this show. We jump from problem. We focus a lot on like the problems of the world, and we're like ringing the bell for like, hey, everyone, look, problem. But eventually, like, you want to solve the problems, and like, if you're always looking around at problems, you kind of become a problem.
I kind of feel like the point of this show is to make people aware of the problems.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't really out there searching the internet all day long, and they don't spend a lot of time on X or what have you. And granted, we do, but I feel like our job is to kind of like make people aware. Obviously, there's a lot of opinions, but our job is to make people aware of the problem. So I mean, there's probably
and to defend and support Israel
Yes,
every
of
opportunity
course.
we can because
$7,000,
and they're upping it by three or 4x. Did you hear?
Are they?
Yeah, the
I would
report
go.
is that they're going to go. They went from like $1 million to going to $3 million.
They got that Venezuelan oil money.
Love this. I'm extremely happy to hear it. I saw some guy today talking on Twitter saying, or X saying, "Oh, if your weakness is women, Israel will bring that.
Oh,
if,
yeah.
If your weakness is money, Israel will give you that. If your weakness is," and I'm just like,
I was like, Benjamin Netanyahu,
tell-
if you can hear me, if you can hear me, Benjamin.
tell Israel that I'm very weak in many areas. I was like, someone send them an email or a text, or can you tweet at BB himself?
BB, I am vulnerable. Please, I am available and I'm vulnerable.
Yeah.
If you want to send me wealth and all that.
You guys could probably tweet at him. He'd probably get back to you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, oh, Timcast.
Hey,
yeah.
thanks for the message.
Let's step on the gas, boys.
I'll send some
To your
cash
point
over.
about how like your guys' job is to tell people kind of what the news is going on, I totally agree with that because most of the time I'm just like a stay-at-home mom. I film one video on the weekends, and I rely on shows like this to tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
But on the other side of it is kind of like you're like, F you, this is so annoying. Which, I watch Michael Knowles a lot. He had an episode out recently, and something that stuck with me, this like fighting that we see in blackpilling, it's kind of like he stated it's a podcaster problem. Where like normies, like you stated, Tim, they aren't really worried about all of this little nitty gritty stuff. And but that is how everybody's feeling right there. A big F you.
Yeah, I mean, I understand both sides. Like for us, it does feel like constantly blackpilling or constantly hearing bad news, blah 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 blah. Because that's really that's kind of the stuff that we need to make people aware of. But at the same time, it's like our job, like what we do is to make people aware. It's not just that we're like. It's not just complaining on the internet, although, as Tim Set puts it. It really is. We are here to to give our opinions and let people know about things.
Then the audience is like, oh, she might go to jail. But it's like, okay, also, she's probably not going to.
Yeah.
And so it's like a tug of war, and it's like a whiplash with everything if you're so involved with politics like that, which.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
That because of the nature of this job in the political podcasting realm, that you're looking for problems to show the world these are the big problems, that sometimes when the problems subside, you look around and you're like, we got to find some problem. Maybe he's the problem. Or you'd be like, what? Listen to the thing that guy said. That's a problem that he said that. Now I got to go at that guy. And then it creates this infighting or just like this cycle of like looking for a problem instead of looking for a solution.
You got to get those likes. You got to get those views.
they call it drama. People like drama
Yeah,
too.
they sure do.
They do like seeing an ego battle.
They like being the first to comment on something too. We gotta stop
Ian, that's why
doing
we
that.
really got to develop like a serious feud, like really add like a lot of tension to
Now
the show. 'cause I
fuck
think
you. I'm tired of this
I'm
fucking
sick
conversation.
of this
I'm just
crap.
kidding.
How dare
I'm
you?
so
I
sorry.
can't
Ian.
scream the F. Well, I can at you, Tate. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I
Our
was
feud
I was
is
building.
just brutal.
Yeah, if we build up a real feud,
Yeah,
because of how bad you smell, or
right, something like that. Or yeah, we need something like we can just really go at it on.
you think that we need more drama?
Well, you really like Paul McCartney.
I love Paul McCartney.
I think he's old and the piano thing totally over it.
I just don't think
he's
you
still
have
hung up with the whole
tastes.
Beatles routine. Like,
Oh,
we
really?
get it.
Super
we get
impressed
it.
with himself because he's a knight, sir.
Oh, he
Paul
works
McCartney.
8 days a week. There's 7 days in the week, idiot. Yeah, liar. He's a liar.
What an idiot.
Dishonest.
So dumb.
Yeah.
Let's jump to this next story from the Wall Street Journal. I'm in it. The Wall Street Journal. Washington's new lobbyists paid online influencers with few rules. Oh boy. The big report in here, and we're going to get through a lot of it because, oh man, is they're talking about how Israel is spending $900,000 in an influencer campaign with a U.S. audience, and they're calling it Project Esther. Let me just jump to it. This is the, they say a newly formed firm called Bridges Partners registered as a foreign agent for the government of Israel and disclosed plans for a $900,000 influencer program dubbed Esther Project. Okay, Esther Project. The project, which started during the summer of 2025 and was scheduled to continue until the end of the year, would cost up to $250,000 a month when it was in full swing, regulatory disclosures said. A rep for the Israeli government didn't respond to a request for comments. So let me just say, any influencer, any person who takes money from a foreign government to promote the interests of that country should be forced to register as a foreign agent themselves. So all of these people that got paid by Israel, they should be forced to register. That being said, I love, and I actually reached out to the journalist on this one because she's like trying to, they might have changed it actually. I think, no, okay, they didn't. They kind of insinuate that we are being paid. They put, foreign governments are meanwhile turning their attention to courting and hiring those on the right. Israel's Netanyahu sat down at least twice with American podcasters and influencers in the past year at Blair House across the street from the White House in April, where his guests included Spicer, Maha advocate Jessica Reed Krause, and podcaster Tim Pool. He urged support for U.S. intervention in Iran, which Trump would eventually carry out in June. They're trying to make it seem like we got hired or I got hired, as not the case. And I think AIPAC should also be forced to register as a foreign agent, and any one of these individuals getting paid to do it. I can't speak for any of the people who were there. I can say that the reason they know it was about supporting U.S. intervention in Iran is because I told them. So I appreciate that. But this article is actually really interesting because it proves that everything is fake and gay, as they point out a few things. And this is a lot of heavy accusations being leveled on right-wing personalities. They say this. Last summer, Donald Trump's 28-year-old former campaign aide, Alex Bruesewitz, had some new advice for the president: reclassify marijuana as a less dangerous drug. Nearly 70% of Republican voters support Trump on this no-brainer. What Bruesewitz left out, a political action committee funded by legal marijuana's biggest players had just paid him $300,000. You know what, guys? I'm going to let you guys, I'm going to tell you all a secret. We don't pay people to come on the show. And we don't pay people to come on this show. And boy, are we suckers. Because I'm finding out every day when I'm talking to my team, like, hey, let's see if we can reach out to this person and get them on. They go, oh, they charge, $200,000 per appearance. And I'm like, well, we're not going to do that. And they go, well, this person did. And I'm like, what do you mean they charge that much? I just saw them on this other podcast. I'm like, oh, yeah, they got paid. Tons of these big shows are paid. So I mean, it makes sense, right? You got a big show, you're getting millions of views. We don't do none of that. We barely started doing ads. I'm sitting here like a sucker. We could be charging you, Kaitlin.
I could be charging you.
It's true, you could be.
Yeah, we might need to. I'll send you an invoice, actually.
Yo, there are shows that I'm not going to call anybody out. Just we'll see what happens, but they reach out to people and say, would you like to come on the show? We have 2 million followers. And when they say yes, they say that'll be $10,000.
2 million followers get you 10,000.
Oh, probably way more than that. I mean, you could probably charge way more than that.
Because maybe I'm a sucker.
Like we've had a couple instances where sponsors have reached out. Sponsors, I said that, companies, and they'll say, we want to get someone from our company on the show. How much does it cost? And we just tell them, not interested, have a nice day. And then we say, we're always interested in taking on new sponsors if your product aligns with what we're interested in and building a relationship that way. And so Mike Lindell is the best example. They never asked us to come on the show, to pay to come on the show. But it's a good example of someone who sponsors the show who also is a guest. But he's Mike Lindell. I mean, come on. So I think we had him on the show well before he ever sponsored us, but then we reached out, they sponsored us. And there's the guy from Crowd Health came on well after we were already working with them because we had a working relationship. But I look at all this stuff, and I got to tell you guys, the secret is it's all fake and gay. Someone's getting paid somewhere, and it's another factor in the whole culture. We're just being demoralized.
What do you mean getting paid somewhere? What aspect of it is fake and gay?
Bro, on X, come on, dude. Like some guy with 1 million followers all of a sudden loves Israel.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Or
talking about this.
all of a sudden, everyone's like, no, you should definitely buy soda.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
What do you mean I can't use welfare to buy soda?
That was
Yeah.
very
I
embarrassing.
feel the
Yeah, it's so
AstroTurf.
sick how the
Yes.
U.S. in 2026, the U.S. political zeitgeist is just like Middle Eastern countries settling their like ethnic squabbles, like in our
It's
political
true.
sphere.
And I just want to say it is disgusting. The product placement everywhere. It makes me parched. And sometimes I need a cold, delicious taste of this amazing Pellegrino.
And that's the thing is the calories
They
in
don't,
a lot of these,
they don't sponsor us, by the
and
way.
the calories in a lot of these drinks, like it really says a lot about our society. And yeah, honestly, these people taking money for like stuff like, I don't know, like just hypothetically delicious Diet Coke that is 0 calorie. It's
And
ridiculous.
Trump has a Coke button.
It's true. And if you want to be like President Trump, you could buy Diet Coke in theory, but it's really disgusting to shilling. It's so shameless.
This conversation's making me thirsty. Oh, it's delicious.
We're gonna get an invoice. They're gonna bill us for using their likeness. Being like, you gotta pay us now,
Bro, what?
Yo, everything's for sale. Everything's for sale. Like when you look at some of these podcast sets and you see things on the wall or whatever, probably paid for.
We had those chairs at the old office with the name of the company
Awesome.
and like we probably could have made
I bought them
millions.
off Amazon, bro. I went on Amazon. I said I need gaming chairs. I just ordered 6, and that's what we have. And then we've just ordered the same ones. And people have asked us like, why don't you get a chair sponsor? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, most money I think is publicity.
People have
Not
claimed
most,
that
but-
because we have the Daily Wire Truth Bomb in the background where the guest sits, just because we are friends with them, they were like, the Daily Wire paid them to do that. And I'm like, at first I was kind of like, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. And I'm kind of like, oh no, I get why they think that. Everything's fake and for sale. I mean, I'm reading through this thing, and it is cringe. The project Esther project stuff, because there are people who on X all of a sudden just went like hardcore pro-Israel for no reason. And I'm like, well there, brother, you sure have a strong opinion on Israel all of a sudden.
You should have to register. That makes sense.
Yes, agreed.
There are a lot of people that still like, if you're not critical of Israel, they assume that you're getting paid. Because I'm not particularly critical. I'm fairly,
Ambivalent.
I don't really. I mean, they're not in the United States. I don't really care much about what happens in Israel, and so because I'm not critical of Israel and not defending the Palestinians, it's like, oh, you're a shill, and it's like, come on, like you can tell the people that are shilling, or at least you can tell the people that are really pro-Israel, right? Like they'll talk really, really well about Israel, and I'm just like, I don't really care. But because you're not critical, sufficiently critical,
You know
then
what's really
they
crazy,
assume you're
actually?
just in the bag.
I know this is going to trigger all the Candace people, but in Florida, the funniest thing is I'm getting stopped like crazy from people who don't know who I am, but know that I beefed with Candace. And like, yeah, no, for real. Because, people who watch the show, they'll come to me and it's great and they'll say thank you for everything. But I was hanging out at Hard Rock last weekend. It's like a WPT event. And some woman, she's like, you're that guy. And I'm like, I'm that guy. And she goes, F Candace Owens. And then I started laughing. And she was, and I was like, do you watch the show? And she's like, no, I just heard that you were yelling at her. And then I was sitting with my boy Robbie. And a guy walking past, and he was just like some bald, ripped guy. He sees me, and he goes, hey, you're that guy, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, fuck Candace Owens. And then I was like, yeah. And he was like, thank you, brother. And then he walked away, and I was like, man, it's kind of weird. People really don't like her, I guess. I forgot
I'm
why
fatigued with the whole
Well, is it
Candace thing
people
was
don't
tiring.
like her, or is it people are just so sick of even hearing about it, to be honest? Like, I feel like I had to block so many people from just talking about it because I couldn't stand them talking about it anymore. And I have Candace fatigue. I have Candace fatigue so bad.
I'm like that.
I have Israel fatigue.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
like the retard right. It's just, oh my God. Listen, you've got these two groups, and it's like what Tay was just saying, Middle Eastern beef being paid. Like, it's the weirdest thing ever. Israel and Qatar are looking at each other and then like shoveling money to Americans to fight each other.
So I got my Israel second wind, and what that did was it gave me, because the Iranian thing, they were like, Benjamin Netanyahu's like, yeah, we can get rid of the theocracy in Iran for good. And I'm like, oh, is that a good thing? Like this revolution going on in Iran? I can't tell what's real and what's fake on Twitter. There's like a post will be like, the Iranian regime has killed 10,000 protesters. It seems like it's,
No, that was fake. That was fake.
And it's hard to confirm. They like, the Iranian regime is blocking out Starlink satellite over the country. Now they have internet blackout and they're murdering protesters. And I'm like, I don't know what to believe. But if the Israelis really want to swoop in there and save tens of thousands of, Republican minded people that are trying to overthrow a theocracy, I feel like they're the good guys. It's just being so far away. It's hard to.
When you say Israel fatigue, are you talking about like just the whole conversation in general?
Yep.
Okay. I think a lot of people feel that way, but they're afraid to say it because they either get said they're getting told that they got paid $7,000, or it's you're pro-Israel or you're anti-Israel if you just don't give an opinion.
Yeah.
I don't give an opinion on things because that's not
So
what
you're
people
pro-Israel.
watch.
Yep.
That's exactly what I mean.
That's what they say.
That's exactly. Yeah,
They're-
but
like
that's
you're
what's
pro-Israel then?
frustrating. But it's like
If you're not with us, you're against us.
yes, exactly.
I'm just
And
like, oh my God,
it's
shut
it's
up.
annoying. It's boring, isn't it? It's
You know-
so boring.
Yeah, I'm simultaneously like a brutal anti-Semite and then also like a paid Zionist shill, and then I'm also woke right. I'm like collecting all these labels like Thanos. Like it's ridiculous what's going on.
It builds muscle.
The infinite.
All because I'm just like ambivalent about a country on the other side of the world. Like what are we doing?
Well, remember, it's because they control everything, specifically the United States government.
They control everything. It's like
I will say, I don't think most people care that much.
yeah.
I think it's purely like people who are addicted to Twitter and just the news and fighting. I don't think most voters care that much. And I'm not saying that's the right thing or that's the wrong thing, but I also have the fatigue, and I don't think it's really a number one issue for voters.
Just like
No.
it shouldn't, because it used to be a litmus test on the right, like you needed to be sufficiently pro-Israel to then be part of the coalition. That was frustrating, and then now it's flipping around where you need to be sufficiently anti-Israel to be part of this coalition. It's just like, seriously, people?
I like talking about Israel is awesome if you're into geopolitics and strategy. Like if you just want to understand reality and the way military rolls around the planet and the power structures, Israel is an important part of that. And you can see how the United States interferes with it and how they work alongside each other and against each
I
other.
don't care. I got an
It's
idea.
kinda fun.
I'm gonna start paying people $7 to say I'm cool.
You'll make a,
Let's go. Where's my
That's right,
wallet?
you can
that,
You
now
Rumble
that's a
wallet out.
publicity
You can
coming
send that
from
to,
you.
yeah.
ladies and
Want
gentlemen.
Rumble
He'll take
tips.
Bitcoin.
Rumble wallet.
yeah, the Rumble
People
wallet.
are downloading Rumble wallet right now.
Tim Pack is
I got
jumping in the
$7
game.
right here, Phil.
Tim, you're cool.
You paid shill.
You paid chill, dude.
So if
Pool,
I say
did
Phil
Pool
is
Pack
cool, do I
pay
get
you? Is
that?
that what it was? Was it
No.
Pool Pack?
Oh, okay, all right. I'm anti-Phil.
Really?
Yeah,
Give me
anti-Phil.
I'm anti. It was a prop all along.
Oh man.
$7.
You're still cool. I don't want your filthy money.
Filthy. I mean,
Yeah,
it is pretty.
dirty.
That's why I got cocaine all
Touch-
over
yeah.
it.
Tim bought me lunch today, so I'll say that he's cool. Just
We had
straight
tapas.
up.
It was
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah? What'd you get in them?
Well, I had
On 'em?
charcuterie. Tapas.
Not
It's a
tacos.
variety of things.
Were they kosher?
That we had carpaccio, kosher. I don't know. It was
Thinly
from
sliced
Spain.
beef.
Yo, they had
That's
this
the
dessert, and it was like mango and cream whipped. So, and that's all it was.
Just a
And
heavy
then they,
whipped.
with coconut cream on top.
Oh man, you're speaking my language.
So good.
Mango.
And healthy too.
Yeah, you want to whip your own
Gluten-free.
cream.
This is a lot of shilling for Spain going on here.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean, Tate. Spain is our greatest ally, and is deserving of all of our foreign aid.
Yep.
Let's give them billions of dollars.
So true.
Do you
All for
whip a
tapas.
lot of cream?
Do I whip a lot of? That's a very.
You make
that's
a lot
really
of, like, heavy
pointed
whip-
question.
Very
Yeah, I
suggestive
wanna know.
question.
Yeah, it feels
I
really
just
invasive.
I'm picturing you in the kitchen in your shorts, just whipping that cream.
What I do
In
with
your
my
shorts,
cream
huh?
is none of your business.
He wears those like athletic outfits, like you're about to go shoot some hoops.
How do you know me? How do you know me so well?
I just love you, Tate.
You know me so well.
Whipping cream. I actually do whip a lot of cream.
Yeah, I
Really?
bet you
Yeah,
do.
one time I was recording like my morning segments. This is back when we were at the castle, and I poured a bunch of heavy cream into those mixer bowls, like a cake batter mixer, whatever they are.
KitchenAid?
Yes.
Yes.
And then I was like, bro, it's easy. I'll turn it on low, and then by the time I'm done recording, I'll have butter. And then what happened is I finish recording, and I hear my wife go, ah! And then I get up and I look, and it made butter, but it separates the buttermilk. So this gigantic wad of butter stuck to the KitchenAid was sloshing the buttermilk just all in the air, spraying everything. And I was like, oops.
Yeah, you got to keep it on in your
you
line
gotta
of
watch.
sight.
That's right.
I was like, I was going to make real butter.
Do you ever, while you're recording, be like, I gotta whip it. I gotta go whip that butter. Do you ever get that? Like it's more important than when you're, or are you always so focused when you're working and you're like,
bro,
no.
like, people don't notice this, but I'll go quiet for a few minutes, and it's because I go to the other room to just pour some cream and start.
Yeah, dude, I know you.
Making some fresh whipped cream.
I'm gonna go urinate.
Do a
now
little,
that we talk
I do a
about
little maple syrup in it for the sweetness. You know,
I was gonna say,
yeah,
no
maple.
sugar, right?
Some
Also,
vanilla.
honey with
Little
cayenne pepper in it. If you guys haven't done that,
honey.
because it like absorbs the cayenne, you can't even tell it's in there.
That's what it's all about, brother.
Amish maxing. It's
Amish
Hot
maxing.
honey on a.
well, I guess they wouldn't use a
We went
mixer,
to
though.
we went to a restaurant and they gave us honey butter for the bread. And I'm like, come on, bro, you made icing. For real.
So true.
It's what it is.
It's so
I
American
don't care what you
too.
call it. It's
I know.
delicious.
It's like, here's some butter. We put some sugar in it.
Yeah.
It's so
Well, I mean,
American.
it's,
Really.
butter's usually salted. Why not some sugar? You know.
Yeah, no, but you know, like Dutch's daughter in Frederick, shout out, they're the best. Always check them out if you're in the area, in the DC area. But they give you cinnamon honey butter for your bread, and the bread is like super dense and moist. And I'm like, they're giving us a full cake before dinner, and we're slathering it with icing. Cinnamon honey butter? That's ice. Icing is butter and sugar with vanilla or something. So
Yeah.
they're like, it's cinnamon icing. It's amazing. I love
good
it.
You know, my
icing
hidden
is.
talent is I'm very good at decorating cakes and cupcakes. These cupcakes look like real
Mm.
flowers. I wanted to bring you cinnamon rolls today.
No,
Did not have time to do it. But,
you gotta make them gluten free.
Shame.
Gluten free.
Yeah, I don't eat bread.
Yep.
Well, that's fake and gay.
Messes me up. Messes me up. Causes me problems. I cut it out.
No,
I
it's
cut it out.
probably not that. It's probably the type of flour.
Tried it. I've tried like
Really?
17 different flowers from
Okay.
different
All right, so
countries.
you truly
I did
are-
like caveman heritage flour. It didn't work.
No?
Yeah.
I'm
messed me up.
sorry.
Yeah, that when I took that week off to go to Tijuana to get that like crazy stem cell stuff and health checkup, it's because I was having joint problems. I didn't know why, and so I went there, and things seemed to get better afterwards. And I was like, "This is great." Now, in all fairness, it did make me feel a lot better. But they did an MRI, and they were like, "Your hips and your knees are fine." And I'm like, "Then why am I having like arthritis?" And they're like, "We have no idea." So then I did an elimination diet, and slowly, I got rid of everything, and then just ate. I was eating nothing but pork. I was eating salami, literally just salami and feta. It was amazing. I love it. For a little while, heavy cream, beef, chicken, and salami for the most part, and everything got better. And then I was like, okay, now let's try something else. And when I brought bread back in, after a couple of days, I started getting like arthritis pains again. And so something funny happened a few months ago where I didn't realize that Mexican pizzas at Taco Bell were made of flour. I thought they were corn. You know what are Mexican
Yeah.
pizzas, right? I thought it was a corn. I thought it was a tostada made of corn. Because I can go to Taco Bell all day and eat their crunchy tacos, and I feel like $1 million.
I love Taco Bell.
Sort of. You know,
Yeah,
Taco
minus
Bell.
the
what am I
oil.
saying?
What a
Sort of.
statement.
Sort of. But so I ordered a Mexican pizza being like, you know, it's a tostada. And then the next day I was trying to skate and I started having pain and I was like, oh man, like maybe it's not flour because I didn't eat any flour. We went to Taco Bell again after skating and I was like, let me get a Mexican pizza and 2 crunchy tacos and some, you know, iced tea. And then the next day it was worse. And I'm like, okay, hold on. And then I Googled it and it's like the Mexican pizza at Taco Bell is a deep fried flour tortilla. And I'm like, I cut it out. I cut it out.
I heard that like it's what they put in the flour. They'll be like,
She
no,
just said
if
that.
you don't.
Yeah, I just
you
said
just
And
did
we
too.
ordered. I ordered that air corn or whatever it's called.
I don't know what is.
I bought Heritage Original Strain Ancient Wheat, didn't work. I bought Organic French. I bought like 12 different kinds of flour, and we none of it. All the
Did you
same
ever try
thing.
milling your own?
We did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
we
technically,
did.
we didn't
actually.
mill it. We blended it. Yeah, that was one day. Me and him blended wheat. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Did we make anything with that? I don't remember.
We made a bread.
That was a cricket bread, maybe even.
No.
We just made a
Crickets in
regular
it?
bread.
We made a regular one.
but it's still.
It didn't really work out.
Yeah,
We did make a cricket bread though, and we didn't enjoy it.
it was
astringent.
strange tasting.
Let's jump to this next story and get back to the business. We got this from SCOTUS blog. Supreme Court appears likely to uphold transgender athlete bans. And the reason why is because when Justice Alito asked the ACLU, can you define for me, for the purpose of equal protections, what is a woman? She goes, well, we don't have a definition. And he's like, then how can you ask for protection of something you can't define? And of course, it's a little bit more legalese than that, but here you go.
If it does that, then is it not necessary for there to be, for equal protection purposes, if that is challenged under the Equal Protection Clause, an understanding of what it means to be a boy or a girl, or a man or a woman?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that definition? For equal protection purposes, what does it mean to be a boy or a girl, or a man or a woman?
Sorry, I misunderstood your question. I think that the underlying enactment, whatever it was, the policy, the law, we'd have to have an understanding of how the state or the government was just understanding that term to figure out whether or not someone was excluded.
No, because it's a federal issue. So the federal government would decide. But continue, lady.
Do not have a definition for the court. And we don't take issue with we're not disputing the definition here. What we're saying is that the way it applies in practice is to exclude birth sex males categorically from women's teams, and that there's a subset of those birth sex males where it doesn't make sense to do so according to the state's own interest.
Well, how can a court determine whether there's discrimination on the basis of sex without knowing what sex means for equal protection purposes?
I think here we just know that we basically know that that they've identified pursuant to their own statute, Lindsay qualifies as a birth sex male, and she's being excluded categorically from the women's teams as the statute. So we're taking the statute's definitions as we find them, and we don't dispute them.
And there it is. It wasn't as comedic as we hoped it would be, but she says, we don't have a definition. The ACLU literally went to the Supreme Court to argue that males should be allowed to be in female sports, and when asked what is the distinction between the two, they said, we don't know.
They had time to learn.
Well, yes, but the issue is that, as we've all known, these people are retards. This is performative, and it's retardation. If you would actually hire a lawyer to go to the Supreme Court and say, I don't have a definition of what is a woman, you are retarded.
I feel like it's unserious that they even had to hear this case. It makes me embarrassed for our country that this case got to the Supreme Court.
Can you hear Alito? He's just like, how?
Yeah, I love that guy's logic.
He's about to crash out.
It's just like, it's exhausting to hear all these arguments. Oh, well, we need to have protections for men that want to behave like they're women. It's like, no, we actually don't at all. There's no protections necessary. This is ridiculous and unserious.
I also want to stop using the word transgender because it's not a thing. It doesn't exist. And when I do my videos, I try really hard not to say the word transgender because no one is transgender. It's not real.
I hear what you're saying. I guess I could agree in that you're describing like an appearance, but you do need a word to describe something, even if it is a gradient. And what I mean by that is not that gender is a sliding scale, whatever the stupid thing they say is, but like if a dude is hopped up on, like if a dude does a bunch of crack, right? We have a word for that. It's crackhead.
Right.
And if someone pumps themselves full of female hormones so they grow tits and then they put on makeup, we have a word for that. It's trans woman. Yeah, but that I disagree because some are, and some there's a combination of mental disorders that envelop, that can manifest in the appearance of what we describe as maybe transvestite or whatever, but
a cross-dresser.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
But I know what you're saying.
We're saying they pump themselves full of drugs.
Right.
Redditor,
it's
maybe.
Different than just dressing.
So like a person we describe as a trans woman. Actually, you know what? I got to stop. You know what? You're right. Because the definition from the left is that you don't have to do those things to be trans, and trans literally doesn't mean anything anymore. It doesn't have a rigid definition, actually.
No. And I don't like to play into the idea that, oh yeah, this person is transgender, this transgender person. No, this person is either a boy or a girl.
Castrato.
And I just hate it. Oh, it's disgusting. Especially as a woman, I cannot take that stuff. It is disgusting to me.
Well, have you seen all the memes they've been making about the thirsty middle-aged women who want to bang ice guys?
Yes, I have, and I have a funny. Some of my bodyguards are like super jacked, and when I go out to these liberal old woman protests, without
Thirst.
fail, they always. Your bodyguard has big muscles.
The
You
thirst
guys
comes
say,
out.
you guys say, you said you want to touch him.
Yeah, well, you know.
Just like I'm parched.
Do you want him to roll up his sleeve and show his forearms and flex?
Yeah, so it's just, it's almost like giving these old ladies a stroke out here, bringing these guys around them.
See, this is my point. I bring this up because it's just like, look, women. It's not universal, obviously, right? There's people who are gay, but these ladies, man, they can't help it. They see a big, strong man, and I bring that up just because it's funny that we have this stupid argument over, men and women are the same thing, and a guy can be a woman. It's like, was it Ryan Long who did the joke where he was like, he said he knows this trans man, who said to him that she used to cry every day because she was in the wrong body, and then he goes, did you ever stop to think that maybe God nailed it? Like, you're crying every day? Like, guys don't do that. And he said, could you imagine a guy who was like, I'm actually a woman. Let's go lift weights and smash. And like, you're like, yeah, maybe God nailed it, But that is funny too, because the premise of that joke is quite literally this woman was crying every day. I think that shows you that there's two things: the fetishist trans woman and the trans men who cry all the time. Like, that's a guy, that's a woman. They just have some kind of mental disorder or what's the right word?
Bless you.
Disorder is the broader term, and then in the light sense, like they're suffering an anxiety, there's
Perturbation,
or a delusion of sorts. But I think mental disorder is the appropriate term.
I used to think I was pretty harsh, and I would be like, I don't believe in any of this bipolar ADD. That didn't exist when I was a kid. It was ADD. Now it's ADHD. They want to prescribe you more. I'm like, I don't believe. Either you're cool or you're losing your mind, and like how it happens, they want to put a label on it so that they can prescribe you a certain medicine and make some money off that label. And I feel the same thing with trans whatever. It's like, it's easy to go down that route of, I don't believe any of it's real. It's all in your mind. But when people are suffering certain types of delusions, it's okay to label them, or whatever you want to call them, not necessarily delusion, whatever, mental illness of any kind. It's okay to label them. That's where I am with like transgender, because I don't think gender is more of a concept of like,
Gender
how do you
is
feel?
make-believe.
Transsexual can't happen because you can't make a male body a female body. You make it look like one, but you can't make it a female
Sort
body.
of.
Yeah,
Even
you can
then.
make it resemble it. That's about it.
So I want to stress this. The only way that a man can surgically get the appearance of a woman is because we have created surgically altered women.
Yeah.
So typically when you see, and I'm not saying this to be derisive, but it's true. When you see a trans woman, they've undergone many surgeries, some can look like a woman who's undergone a bunch of surgeries. But I've not ever seen this is, and I mean this absolutely, a trans woman who actually looks like a woman. At most, they might look like, if they're what someone would describe as passing, extremely manly with massive hands and an Adam's apple or something like that.
That's all on the surface, and that's all like what you can scope. But like inside, who you really are, that doesn't change. That's what you got. So you can make cuts and precisions and put pieces in and take, but you're still you on the inside. So I understand the state of mind.
You mean I
and
can't
not
be a
feeling,
dolphin?
What's that? You're not.
mean
You can never
You
be a
can
dolphin.
Whatever you
Have you
want.
guys
But the
seen
dolphins will
Tusk?
accept you as one of them.
Yes.
Where Justin Long is kidnapped and surgically transformed into a walrus?
No, I saw clips for that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Sorry, Kaitlin, what were you saying?
No, I was going to ask if you guys, because this is a whole topic, like, conservatives don't really care about women's sports. And I'll be honest, I don't really care about women's sports. It's not like I don't think most people care about it. But I think the bigger picture is that we care about the truth, which is that men cannot be women, women cannot be men. And if we have to go through the women's sports issue to get to the truth, I'm okay with it.
Well, you don't have to care about women's sports to care about women.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't want to see a contact sport where a guy who's in a masculine body that's taking progesterone or whatever, female chemicals, goes and levels some woman with his muscle torque, like because he was born for 20 years, had it like that. I don't want to see. That's where I'm at with sports. You want to play golf against somebody if it's consensual, but don't force girls that haven't consented to playing against guys that are transitioning to women. Like, don't force them.
7-year-old boys and 7-year-old girls are different. There's a lie. They've pushed every step of the way, every manipulation they can. And so at first they argued men and women are completely the same. Some men are tall, some men are short. That's right. And some women are strong. And they argued a woman could be as strong as a man if they were just trained to be. And that was not true. And then they said, okay, well, it's because of testosterone. So, prepubescent kids are the same, but after puberty. So if we stop the puberty, then it's going to be equal. Another lie. I think I saw commentary, because I didn't listen to the whole Supreme Court thing, that Amy Coney Barrett had made an argument or had asserted that prepubescent children were there's no competitive advantage, which is just factually incorrect. In the womb, prenatal testosterone has an impact on fast twitch muscle and development. And okay, I'm sorry. How many kids do you have?
I have 2.
Do you have a boy and a girl?
I don't say.
Oh, okay. Well, then I won't make this personal for you.
Yeah.
But every time I talk to a parent who's had a boy and a girl, they go, "Oh, geez, are they different?"
I can
it's
agree.
Like
yeah, well,
patently obvious to anyone who's had kids. The boy is just running around smashing things.
I remember in elementary school, the boys, I don't know if I'm on camera, but it's like the boys would run like this and the girls would run like this, like up. They would have like this up-down energy when the guys
called
would be
center
like,
of gravity.
Center of
barreling
gravity
forward.
thing.
It's also more aggressive. Like if you're a boy, you're more aggressive, so you're going to be hunched over to get that momentum. Whereas a girl probably isn't trying to be as aggressive when she's running.
Well, and that center of gravity develops like really young. I mean, it's like, okay, even if you could compare whatever metric you want, it's like the structure is going to be different as early as like as infants. And it's just ridiculous.
And speaking of this subject, I would also like to add that elephants are not birds and can't be, and point out this amazing book, Elephants Are Not Birds, by the author known as Brave Books.
Yeah, I was wondering who wrote this. This was really good. I was thumbing through it the other day, but I couldn't
it was written
figure
by
out
no
who the
one.
author. I think no one wrote it.
No one wrote it.
It's interesting.
For those that don't know and you're wondering what we're doing, this book was actually written by Ashley St. Clair, who announced today, in an effort to make amends, plus in the best interest of all parties, my name will be removed as author of Elephants Are Not Birds, effective immediately. Now, I got to be honest, the initial story, Elon Musk wanted to sue for sole custody of his child with Ashley St. Clair, we were not going to talk about because it's just like, so what? Now I think it's become, with this move now involving Brave Books, it's becoming more massively indicative of a cultural shift. Everybody on the right is fighting. The sides are changing again as predicted, and maybe it's intentional. The machine is trying to shuffle the box to prevent social decay or breakdown, and enemies become friends, friends become enemies, and books are written by no one.
I wonder if she's still getting paid for it.
Well, Brave Books issued a statement saying, over the last decade, we've witnessed a massive cultural shift. Basic foundational truths like biological sex have become controversial. In 2021, we partnered with Ashley St. Clair in a children's book titled Elephants Are Not Birds. The book communicates a clear truth that our biological sex is not chosen, but something we are given. It has become increasingly apparent that Ashley no longer aligns with the message of the book or with our mission. For that reason, we've reached a mutual agreement with Ashley that her name will be removed from Elephants Are Not Birds in future prints. Our position remains unchanged. Brave Books exists to tell stories that affirm timeless biblical truths and to partner with voices who share that conviction and desire to pass it on to the next generation with clarity and courage. That commitment requires discernment in both the stories we tell as well as the partners we choose. We will continue to act with conviction and tell stories that reflect the truths we believe are worth passing on. We're grateful to the families who have welcomed our stories into their homes and trusted us to play a small role in their children's lives. Trent, I volunteer as tribute. You can slap my name in that book right now and say it was written by me. Actually, I'm half kidding. What I want to say, truth be told, is I am disappointed in Brave Books and in Ashley St. Clair. We are not Netflix. We do not go in and edit the movie 4 years later because of some cultural issue. If I go back and look at a book that was written by some dude and then 20 years later became a Nazi, he still wrote the book, his name is still on it, that's life. Brave Books should not remove her name from the book that she wrote and collaborated with them on, and she should not have also agreed with them on the removal. I think it absolutely was a mutual decision. Of course, we saw the other day that Ashley St. Clair apologized for transphobia, and Brave Books did take the name off the website early in the day before the statement, I believe before the statement was published. I just think it's laughable, it's stupid, it's ludicrous. And I will say this, I still consider Ashley St. Clair to be a friend. She's always been very nice to me and very good to us. She's helped us out with a lot of things. And so people are critical of her. But this is how retarded everything has gotten. Guys, you can't take your name off a book.
Yeah.
Like, she wrote it. That's it. We're done. I will say this. I mean, my presumption here now with the move they made is actually she didn't write it. She endorsed it.
You don't think she wrote it?
Well, I mean, if Brave Books is going to take her name off of the book, my presumption is that Brave Books probably wrote the book and then said, you want to put your name on it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because otherwise, how could they take her name off it? It's like a matter of record.
Yeah.
She wrote it, right?
It's so sloppy when they do. It reminds me of like the NCAA when they like sanction a team and they vacate their championship win, and then you like look up at the
Everyone
Wikipedia article and
knows.
it's like, I guess no one won in 2009. It's like the same thing. It's like we all know what happened. We were all there. Like we're not idiots. It's just sloppy and weird.
This is my problem with all of this historical retconning garbage. Like Netflix goes in and edits movies after the fact, years later, or TV shows. So there's a pro skateboarder who I've called out before, but I'll avoid saying her name at this point. But this pro skateboarder decided that she was a he. Came out as trans and said, "I'm a man." Got a double mastectomy and started taking her shirt off and skating around with no shirt on. Very still, obviously, a woman. But here's the thing. Despite publicly saying, "I'm a man," she kept competing in the women's X Games. And I said, now hold on there a gosh darn minute. If you claim to be a man, you should stop competing against women, right? Nope. Because that's the way it works. If you're a female who claims you're a man, you compete against women. And if you're a man who claims you're a woman, you compete against women. None of it made sense. But what really irked me about it was that on Wikipedia, by changing all the pronouns to he, him, they were now asserting that this woman won the men's X Games. When they said, skater is a championship gold medalist at the X Games, he won this year, he won that year, he won this Olympic qualifier, and you're like, wow, he got the gold in the X Games. The presumption is a guy. And then you look up the X Games and this person's nowhere to be found because he did not. She did.
Mm-hmm. It's like on Wikipedia, it'll be like, oh, Kaitlin Jenner, a woman, had children with a woman. And it's like, if you're someone that has no idea what happened, you're reading that, it's going to confuse you very much. It's going to confuse children.
Look,
like, it's like, what are we doing?
The New York Times and the Washington Post are now off the trans train. Did you see this? The editorial board of the Washington Post came out right and said SCOTUS should say no men and women's sports.
It's not popular or cool anymore to believe that stuff. Like, it's really not. And that's how you know all of that was so performative, and for people to just jump on the train to agree with whatever they thought was cool. And so I hope that the pendulum is swinging now. I hope it doesn't swing back. But it probably will. I mean, we know everything kind of swings back and forth.
They just
But-
made,
Actually, I think it'd be hilarious if Brave put my name on this book
yeah, they should.
and then just like printed edition with me smiling, being like, I wrote this. It's mine.
Well, she did accuse Matt Walsh of plagiarism with his book that came out, Johnny the Walrus. So how could...
yeah.
Lord.
I mean,
I
maybe
wrote
she
that.
did.
I wrote them both.
You wrote them both.
That's right.
So there is...
If we
there's
can
a
change history, I'm
scandal
getting on
going
board.
here.
Tim's a prolific ghostwriter.
Indeed. Yeah. I also was arrested and charged for being a vigilante in a subway in New York City. That was another really big story, a thing that I did.
Yeah.
You know, you guys remember that one?
Yeah, I was really
And
impressed.
I also starred in and hosted and wrote 30 Rock. That was me. Yeah. The whole time.
I think he drove a cab for a little while in New York City as well.
I did. It was a game show. Michael Malice was on it. That was me, actually.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago. Tim was like, I'm just going to Venezuela for tourism. That's all. You know, just to hang out, see what's going on.
You'll catch him fly fishing on Tuesdays usually.
Yeah.
Yep.
He does a lot of stuff.
Everything's mine. I did it all. I can just claim it. Because
Hey,
that's
I'm
where
feeling
we
for
are now.
Ash these days. Ashley, I don't know if you're listening, but I feel bad. I feel like I've been sad for you. I don't know. I haven't talked to her in like a year and a half. I mean, you mentioned she's a friend of mine. I feel like that to be, I guess she's to be alone with raising a kid. Like Elon hasn't been in the picture, so she's like single mom, and that's stress. And then, but I don't know where her head's at because she was like,
Yeah,
I think I know.
I want to stress something. There are people that are mad at her because she wanted Elon to pay more money or whatever. But she said she wanted her kid to have a dad. And I think it's a mixed bag. I'm sure it's a little bit of both, right? She wanted more money. She wanted her son to have a father on his birth certificate and to have someone to look up to. There are a lot of conservatives that are ragging on her, and she did say that. And that's not a part of the equation as to why many of these conservatives don't like her anymore. So by all means, you can call her a gold digger or whatever, but you should include in the argument that she wanted her kid to have a dad.
You know, and she's told me one of the last times I saw her, I really want to have a second kid. And she did with Elon. So, like, I'm happy for her, but Elon's the ethos of, like, more kids instead of, like, I think a lot of how many kids are you parenting? Not about how many kids have you spermed out, but, like, how many kids are you parenting right now?
Yeah, we just talked about that.
Yeah.
And I think when I read this Ashley stuff, and like I don't spend a lot of time in drama and looking at it, I took it as from the perspective as I'm a mom. She is kind of left with no one. And so who is she going to ally with? The people who also are known with Elon Musk and Elon Musk other baby mamas. That's her only ally right now. So if she's got to change her views or what she's got to do to have a relationship with the only people who really want to have a relationship with her, maybe that's where it is. And she's
I said this for years. If you do not give a person a path towards forgiveness, they will go the other direction.
Yep.
So for what reason is the right deciding to burn the bridge with with Ashley St. Clair? For whatever reason, she got 1 million followers. She wrote these books. She's been a huge personality, and they said she got into a fight with Elon Musk, so she's excised. Okay, well now you've just given the left an ally. She's going to advocating for them, and people are saying, well, this proves she's a grifter. No, it proves human beings will not be left in a desert. Mm-hmm. If she can't go to any conservative event because she'll get attacked and criticized, ridiculed or insulted, she's going to go wherever she can. Every single human does it. That's it. The truth is, in this space, if you want to be successful, you're going to be you're either going to be a liar or you're going to be demure. You can be the podcast where you say, well, I really have nothing bad to say about that person because then they won't come on my show. Or you can be aggressive and say Elon should be there for his kids and not have 50 of them with no dad.
And that's something that conservatives generally think right off the bat. You know, it's like
Elon's powerful. He's a powerful ally.
Yeah,
you know?
But I mean, like, I firmly believe that, you know, kids need dads. You know, they need a mother and a father, in my opinion.
I have another prediction too. I say this half jokingly. 7 months from now, we'll all be Democrats. Everyone in this room, even Kaitlin.
Absolutely not.
No, because the Democrats are going to have Stephen A. Smith, who said that Renee Good's shooting was justified and the trans thing is insane. Trump is going to be the guy who protected Epstein, and they're going to be on the Jew train, and they're going to be screaming about Israel. And Washington Post and CBS and the corporate press are already shifting because they're trying to attract moderates again. And the Libertarian Party has drifted left and right a little bit. I'm saying this half jokingly, but the way things are looking right now, there is this shift. This shift is happening. CBS, the Washington Post, the New York Times are now moving in the other direction. The trans thing has become weird, and Trump has become the Epstein pedo protector. He's right there along Hillary Clinton in the headline news right now for protecting Epstein clients. So the shift is happening. And I think the best example, again, is Stephen A. Smith has been floated as a potential frontrunner for Democrats. He came out right after that woman got shot, Renee Good, and said, from a legal standpoint, the shooting was justified. Okay, well, there you go. He's now aligned with the right, and moderates are going to be more attracted to that guy. But the funny thing is only because he doesn't have a record of protecting Epstein clients. You know what I mean? But I'm saying this somewhat as a joke, so I don't really believe it's going to happen so profoundly. But we're watching it.
Yeah, you're kind of describing the pendulum that you were talking
Yes,
about.
exactly.
The natural frustration that people get with whoever's in charge due to whatever the media wants to propagate.
Well, it's not even that. It's how boring and sick of something do like the general public become, and like the media and everything like that. So they're on this anti-trans stuff, or they're just not really so gung-ho about supporting that. And so when that shifts, it's like, where does the right go? Is that what you're kind of saying? Is like, because they're shifting so much this way, like, where does the right go?
So the right is a coalition.
Mm-hmm.
The Republican Party has always been smaller than the Democratic Party, at least in our lifetimes. And Donald Trump formed a coalition with moderates. It was about 8 or 9 million Obama voters switched to vote for Trump. And it was very unexpected. Working class people said, I want Bernie. When they didn't get Bernie, they offered up Hillary. They said, nope, Trump it is. Mm-hmm. And so Trump was able to succeed in that regard. Trump has the disaffected liberal vote. largely. It's like 2-1. He's going to start losing it now because the right is being dominated by people who are screaming the Jews 24/7.
Okay, I see what
And
you're
moderates
saying.
don't care.
Yeah.
By all means, criticize Israel, it's a government, and AIPAC and these things. But then you get these shows that they're like the Zionists, which is the Jews, and normies are just like, huh? I don't care about it. The right is being split in the middle over the issue of Israel, and regular people largely don't care. In fact, the majority of Americans are pro-Israel. If you look at the polls, but it's because they're ignorant of the issue and don't care about it.
Yes.
They're like, I don't know, I saw on the news that however, young people are not. Young people are 50-50. It's splitting. So that's obviously why Israel wants to pay money to get it, to promote it. But I think regular people, for the most part, just don't care about that issue.
When I go out and talk to people every single week, the issue they bring up the least is the Israel stuff. Even on the left, they don't care about it. And it's shocking, which I could be in just like, the Florida area here. Maybe this isn't a saying of the whole country, but they don't bring it up as much as I see right-wing podcasters bring it up.
Yeah, Americans are kind of famous for our general ambivalence to like geopolitical affairs. Like we're not keeping tabs on like the going-ons in the Middle East, let alone like what's happening in Europe. Like we don't care.
Let's jump to this next story from the Daily Mail. The ICE agent who shot woman dead is, quote, not expected to face criminal charges as FBI zeroes in on victims' history of Trump betting. In fact, it looks like the feds are actually going after ICE Watch and this woman's network. They're not treating the ICE agent as the perpetrator of a crime. They're treating the woman as the perpetrator of the crime. Why? Well, she did commit 2 crimes: felony obstruction and evading arrest, which are crimes. We then have this from Mediaite. Tom Homan says ICE agent who shot Renee Good is in hiding. He's also raised, I believe, around $700,000. It's been raised on his behalf. So I can't say I'm surprised. I said this. We had this discussion in this debate. The federal government is not going to allow this guy to be prosecuted because if they do, Trump may as well resign right now. His agenda will be over. He'll be abandoned by his voters and law enforcement. So what happens next then? Are we going to get a spring and summer of love because the left is going to be like, no justice, no peace?
They sent in, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
They sent in 1,000 more troops to Minneapolis after this whole thing happened. And I will say, as someone who is looking for Vance to run or whatever, immigration is one of the top issues on our side, on Trump voters and everything. And if they back down from this is going to be very bad for them.
Yeah.
Because we care about this and we're tired. The George Floyd stuff, we just had to sit there and take it. And we don't want to have to sit here and take this too and see, because and we all saw the video, it is what it is, but that's my little rant.
Well, yeah, I think the Trump admin, they've learned their lessons from 2020. And they understand that right now in Minneapolis, this is where they set the tone for the next 3 years is like, hey, this is where this is in the minds of leftists where they're going to figure out if they're allowed to operate with impunity or not. And so that's why, and I think the Trump admin's making the correct moves thus far, but like you really got to communicate to the people. Like it's one thing flooding the DHS agents again and ensure that this ICE agent isn't charged, but you need to also communicate that to the American people. You need everyone to understand what time it is. And so I'm total agreement, but it's like, yeah, this is really going to make or break
It's
the next
9/16.
3 years.
It's 9/16.
That's what time it is.
Just want
Everyone
to make
needs
sure.
to know.
Right.
That's what everyone
It's
knows.
actually 21/17.
21,
I'm using
17.
military time.
European over here.
Because I'm a LARPer.
When I saw that first video, I was like, oh, so if a cop puts his hand on my hood and I touch my gas pedal, he can shoot me. But then I saw the second.
Yes. If a cop is standing in front of your car and you accelerate the vehicle, they will try to stop you.
I know.
You're actually
I know.
right.
What if
Yeah,
they have no
that's
right?
right.
What if they are illegally stopping me? It's like it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
How do you?
So doesn't matter.
So
If
explain.
any man with a gun has his hand on your hood, well, then I was like,
This
what
is-
if it's a
this is-
jihadi? Then you're like, maybe I should.
This is
drive
what they're
away.
doing. They've created laws in their own brains.
Yeah.
Federal agents. This is going to be a shock to liberals, and they're going to say, "No, it's not true. It can't be true. It's impossible." Federal agents can enforce federal law. Shock. And more importantly, let me start at the base level. Literally any human being can arrest someone for a felony. Did you know that?
Good
Ian?
to know.
Any adult or any.
Ian, if you watch someone commit a felony, you can perform a citizen's arrest. It's a real thing. It's common law.
So, do you have to be over 18? Are you aware?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure you don't.
Okay.
Like, the idea is, if anyone witnesses a felony, you can stop the person from doing it. However, the issue is if you're wrong, you can get sued. Okay, let's go again. 8 U.S.C. 1357 grants ICE agents the authority to conduct all immigrations and custom-related law enforcement and anything in its periphery. That means they can conduct traffic stops. This means that they can, if they believe you are in any way committing any crime related to customs, not just immigration. Here's the best part. Within 25 miles of any U.S. border, they can enter your vehicle without a warrant. It's a special power. Special power. So if you are in, like, San Diego, ICE agent can walk up to you and say, I'm getting in your car right now. They are allowed to do that. So these liberals are like, they can't perform traffic stops. They can walk up to your RV and say, I'm coming in. Duh, to make sure you're not trafficking people, right? Here's the best part. The law also says they can enforce any U.S. law explicitly. As federal agents, they can enforce any federal law. So imagine the retardation that must persist for you to believe they could not say, out of the vehicle, you're under arrest. The argument in the Daily Show with this woman who's talking to Jon Stewart, he says, but can't they arrest you for obstruction? She goes, but they can't perform traffic stops. It has to be serious obstruction. Oh, kind of like being trained by ICE Watch to obstruct and assault officers and then being reported by witnesses to have been leading a protest to obstruct their vehicles from engaging in law enforcement activities. Clear-cut obstruction. And they can stop you. They can pull your vehicle over if they think you're in violation of immigration or federal law. Meaning, if they see a vehicle with out-of-state plates with drugs, they can pull you over. If it's interstate, evidence of an interstate crime of some sort. Here's the most important thing. I'm going to ask you this, Ian. Do you think that if an ICE agent witnessed a man shoot a child in the head, he has the authority to arrest him?
Yes.
He does. But that's a state law. How can they enforce a state law if their ICE agents limited powers? Because anyone can perform an arrest on an individual for committing a felony.
Would he be doing it as a federal employee, or would he
Yes.
be doing it as a citizen's arrest?
Yes, and the law then says he turns them over to state authorities. So the liberals are making this stuff up to radicalize retards and justify engaging in violence and threatening the lives of federal agents. But I go ahead.
Just to tap it off, you don't technically have to be 18 to issue citizen's arrest. I think it depends on the state, though. It depends on state by state. Jersey, you got to be 21. Yeah, well, I saw the second video. I'm sure you guys talked about it yesterday, maybe, or last, about this shooting. The second video, the guy got thrown back. I mean, it looked like he literally was assaulted by the vehicle. So
Can I talk about Title VIII a little bit, like what you just mentioned? I love that you brought that up because I see in the argument of conservatives trying to defend ICE, they never actually can reference Title VIII, which lays out all immigration law. And when I reference that and I cite it when I'm talking to liberals every single week, they will not listen to me. They think that it's illegal for them to wear a mask on their face. That's not illegal. It's actually not even illegal for them to not read them their Miranda rights if they're being arrested.
No. Miranda rights is a fake thing that's always been fake. And liberals, there's a famous video from Occupy where a woman is going, I have not been read my rights. That's a fake thing.
Well, especially when they're being arrested under a civil and an administrative thing. So there are warrants for their arrest that are administrative that they just get from their supervisor. And then there's ones for criminal things. But if you really look at Title VIII, they have the power to do what they're doing. Everything is justified. And it is so annoying.
Miranda rights are only read at the discretion of the officer if they intend to question you. If they don't intend to question you, they will not read you your rights. Often they'll read you your rights at the department if you're being arrested if they think they need to question you. There's a funny video where some guy's yelling at a cop, you never read me my rights. And he goes, I'm not questioning you. And he's like, you got to read me my rights. And he goes, I watched you commit the crime. No, I don't. And then the other thing, too, is I want to play this video for you guys.
Why did you have me bullets?
I'm going to play that for you again. I want you to listen. She says, why did you have real bullets?
Why did you have
You see, here's what happened. Over the past several years, these liberals have been conditioned to believe that the riot control actions they've experienced are law enforcement. They're engaging with armed federal agents seeking narco gangs, MS-13, criminal cartels, and often just general criminals. But this is criminal law enforcement, not community affairs. So when these liberals show up to a protest and they see a cop with a truncheon, there's no real bullets. When they see a guy with a gun, he's got beanbags or expanding foam rounds. But these people have decided to engage with federal law enforcement who are trying to arrest serious criminals. She said, why did you have real bullets? Why? It's a game. It's always been a game. You see, this is the problem with riot control weapons. We have created an environment where these people know there are no consequences to rioting. If they go out and smash up a storefront and set it on fire, they know their worst case scenario is, despite the fact they've killed and will kill again, they'll only ever be hit with a beanbag. In the George Floyd riots, 30 plus people were killed, and the police that engaged the rioters use less lethal munitions. When these people go out to engage the feds on law enforcement operations, they're treating it like it's crowd control community affairs. In fact, in many cities, the community affairs officers don't even have weapons. They're just walking around in jeans and windbreakers. They're playing a game.
Imagine being so delusional. And it's probably not even their fault, but they join these ICE watch groups that literally tell them to do this. And it's like, who is responsible for brainwashing these people? They're so delusional that they really think that a federal officer's gun does not have real bullets. So there's supposed to be fake bullets in there?
They thought it was a game. And I'm not saying to be cute. I am telling you quite literally, when these liberal middle-aged women show up to ICE Watch, they think they're playing red versus blue. They think they're playing paintball. They don't understand. I went to Glenn Beck's studio several years ago. And it's amazing, the Blaze Studios. They have a bunch of old newspapers on the walls. Like, you go to the bathroom, walk out, you go to the green room, you walk out, and they have these old newspapers. And I read one of them. And it was an old 1800s newspaper where it said that a man was outside of a saloon when another man walked up and put a pistol to his chest and pulled the trigger, killing him. And they never found out who it was. And I'm just like, man, it was crazy back then. It was wild back then. Life or death. Today, we got a bunch of soft cookie dough people who don't understand the harsh realities of the world. And we are dealing with an escalation of political violence and conflict. So when they laugh and celebrate Charlie Kirk being murdered, it's a TV screen to them. They don't actually understand. Charlie Kirk was shot and killed and bled out in front of his friends. And this puts the whole country at jeopardy. They watch that through a screen and they laugh. They've never seen it. That's the first time this woman's ever experienced any kind of heightened threat. We've talked about this years ago with the woke, how they got offended by words. And I pointed out that, listen, if you've never been in a fight, if you've never been threatened, if you've never been in a life or death situation, and literally the worst pain you've ever felt is being called stupid, you will be going, it's the worst pain I've ever felt. And then if you're some dude who's just been like mercilessly beaten your whole life, you're going to be like, dude, I don't care what you call me. Or more importantly, if you're like a combat veteran or PMC, you're going to be like, you can call me whatever you want, dude. It does not boil my blood in the least. I've been shot at. This woman and these people, the worst thing they've ever experienced is like getting pushed by a cop. And that's the extent of what they think is possible. So when Michael Malice says people don't understand how much worse it could get, it's a statement to all of us and to these people. So I plead with you all to understand this. When we look at this woman and she goes, why did you have real bullets? And we laugh saying, the naivete of the middle-aged liberal. Understand there are many conservatives who can recognize this in this woman, but not in themselves. What it means if these people actually win. And what it means to have, like, I don't know, you get arrested for no reason and they literally flay you alive and torture you in front of your children, because that happens, and worse. Worse things are possible.
I wanted to go to Hong Kong. There were protests 5 years ago or something. I didn't, but I heard that they were spraying protesters with like, it's water mixed with like some burning, pepper spray and dye, blue dye, and they'd take fire hoses and just spray the crowd. So everyone that was there, not only would they be in agony with their skin burning, you could tag them and find them later. And I wonder, like, how comfortable people here are with that kind of crowd control. It's just like to see how real it can get, you know. I kind of wish that I had been in Hong Kong. Things played out fine the way they played out, but I don't know, just to get a taste, you know, to remember that we don't live in fantasy land.
Let's jump to this next story. We got this from kitco.com. Gold will hit 5,000. Silver will hit 100 per ounce by March, but gold will be vulnerable to correction afterwards, Citigroup. Wow. You know, earlier in the year, we had a gold and silver sponsor, and I say no financial advice, but you should definitely consider gold and silver. And oh boy, the people that did. Silver is going insane. Actually, let me pull up the actual silver price chart. And there's several reasons for this. One of which is it's the end. We're all going to die, and the economy is about to collapse. So hug your loved ones, hide. Silver is at about $90 an ounce. Now, they're saying it's for a variety of reasons. That it's shortages, AI, and electric car demand. That's all true. But silver is like the principal hedge for people against inflation. So when you see silver skyrocket in the last year, the way it did, look at this, 5 years. It was $20 in 2023. It stayed around $20 the whole time. So when people say, oh man, like, you know, I think the Trump economy is good or whatever, and then Trump says everything's fine, I'm looking at silver going like, well, it's been fun. It's been fun, boys.
It's going to be even more fun, man. I'm looking at the
I know.
cost
Fallout's a great video game. I love it.
The cost of palladium also is up 80% over the last year. I'm looking at the cost of copper. What's that?
Do you have any palladium?
I have a little bit of palladium, yeah.
Really?
They use it in
silver in China hit over $100.
Yeah.
All these precious metals. I'm looking up copper now, copper price, and then I want to look up platinum, the cost of platinum.
Got a bunch of old dimes.
Oh yeah, back when they actually used
pre-1964 dimes.
I'm saying it's purely as someone that understands nothing about the precious metals market. Is this linked to cryptocurrency in any way? Because I've seen people say in the past there's some link between it.
Well, Tether Gold just launched. I think that's with the Rumble wallet.
Because like a few people have said because these new cryptocurrencies are backed by precious metals, it spiked the price. Maybe, but that's a big
That might
spike.
be why the Tether Gold. Tether's like the most notorious stable coin in the world.
This actually is a good point. Tether has the gold token, making it a lot easier for people to buy gold, which probably created massive demand. Because my understanding is the way it works is so for those that aren't familiar with what Tether is, it's a cryptocurrency that is pegged to the dollar or to gold. So if you buy one USDT, one US Tether, it's equal to $1. Basically, it's like a bank account, sort of. It's not literally, but that Tether token can be shared with anybody and redeemed for $1 through Tether whenever. And then they have, what is it, XAUT or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's pegged to gold, which means that so my understanding is when you buy one of those, Tether literally will buy the equivalent amount of gold. Yeah. Which means a regular person can very easily now trade gold using the crypto wallet system.
Yeah, and their whole thing is like you can go to Switzerland and actually like see the gold that you've purchased.
You can take it and actually
get it. So that's why I've heard some people say part of the reason that it is spiking is because there's so many new precious metal backed cryptocurrencies on the market. Again, that just seems like
that could be.
I think we're
400% increase.
But the elephant in the room is like all the precious metals went up 20 to 60%.
Exactly, and I want to stress. Crypto and these things have been around for a decade plus. It's like almost 20 years at this point. It's like 16, 17 years. And right now we've got geopolitical tensions. Right. We've got immigration and economic uncertainty and a population collapse. Look, man.
And trillions of dollars in inflation.
Exactly. And I think what we're seeing right now is the market correcting for inflation. Yeah. Basically, we've been cranking out cash and just dumping dollars. Like the U.S. government has been spending like crazy. The deficit is insane. And sooner or later, the market's going to be like, look, silver's not going up, gold's not going up, the dollar's going down.
Yeah. I mean, if you bought gold or whatever, it's typically it's a store of value, right? So you're not actually the actual value of gold isn't going up. It's that the value of the dollar has gone down so much.
That's the real.
The U.S. Mint suspended certain sales.
Yeah.
Because, and there's a bunch of people being like, yo, I just ordered a bunch of silver the other day for like $20. Like, hope I get it.
Well, because that used to always be the pitch on like when you would hear these gold ads on like conservative radio growing up, is they're like, well, it's a hedge against inflation. I'm like, well, what if the price of the precious metal also inflates?
It's over $100. So I just checked. When they say like the price right now is 90, you're not going to be able to get that because every vendor is going to have their overhead cost attached to it. So I just went to moneymetals.com and an ounce of silver is $105.
Yep.
Jeez.
I'm not
Bro,
much of an
remember when I was
alarmist.
like, I had that stack of coins because we had a sponsor for silver. And I had 20 silver coins.
It's worth $35,000 now.
It's $2,000. It was $400
I was like,
a year ago.
get a bunch of copper, Tim. What would we need if shit really hits the fan? Copper to make bullets? Like we were acting like we were rugged, man.
I mean,
of
the
the
homeless
East,
have been on that
I
for
mean,
years.
bullets are up too, but they've been pretty stable.
And the homeless have been stripping copper for years. They're on it.
Oh, copper's
They
so
know.
nice.
South
Dude,
Africa.
okay,
Zamazamas.
I don't know what's coming. I don't know what's happening right now, but this looks like a bunch of big money movers are consolidating wealth in precious metal. Then they're going to crash the economy in half, and all the metal is going to drop by 50%, but they'll be right back where they started when they bought it at 60.
No, you got it backwards. This is the crash. They already bought.
Yeah, if you're buying now, you missed the boat.
Exactly. So
And
they
then
bought before.
They sell before they crash it. I don't know
they
if they
sell
can.
now. So what happens is they buy a bunch when it's low. The market starts collapsing. The price of silver skyrockets. Then they offload it, 10xing their cash.
Or they buy it high and then eat the loss and write it off on their taxes. You never know. But
no,
stuff
that makes no
like
sense.
that.
That literally
Just
makes
to
no
try and
sense.
obfuscate it, because if it's too
Ian,
obvious who
I just want-
bought,
hold on. That makes no sense.
well, they want to hide it. They don't want to make
Tax
too
write-offs
much.
are still losing money.
I know they want it. They don't want to. I don't think the people that
No,
are coordinating this want to come
You buy
out.
$1 billion in silver for $20. The economy collapses. You sell $1 billion in silver for $100. You 5x your cash, and now you've got money. Then the market tanks. Then the price collapses once again, and you start buying up properties on the dollar for pennies on the dollar.
That would be the obvious one, and then we'd be like, "Hey, that's the guy that did it." But if they want to hide their tracks, they might be. I don't know. I'm making
The
up.
point
I don't
is,
even know who I'm thinking
The
about.
people who are gaming the system bought the silver a long time ago.
Yeah.
And now the U.S. dollar is in trouble. Silver is going up for a variety of reasons. Not just the U.S. dollar is in trouble, but also there's speculation about AI. With AI demand so massive, let me put it like this. I read this somewhere. Could be wrong, but I was reading a book about conductors and quantum physics and stuff. They said were it not for the social demand for silver, we'd use silver for every wire instead of copper. But silver was extremely expensive, so people opted for copper, which was less valuable. AI don't care. AI's got infinite budget. AI wants the best of the best. So I think a big component of this is AI expansion requires the best components possible.
Silver's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's also tariffs and international trade is getting really difficult. Luke was telling me that he thinks the reason we went into Venezuela wasn't just the oil, it was the silver.
Oh, interesting.
Silver mines in Venezuela. Horribly mismanaged and not producing, and Trump said, we need it.
Wow.
Well, the AI took over a long time ago. The data. I want you guys to understand something. Let me actually ask you a question, Ian. Do you think that everything you do online is tracked by the U.S. government?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know about how long.
is.
Yeah, I think it is. Even how long I'm staring at a screen, for instance. I
don't think that it's. I think that it's
they don't know.
logged and they can get the information, but I don't think I'm interesting enough for them to actually track me.
I don't care if they track you or not. The question is, are they tracking all of your information?
Yeah, I mean it's logged. Yeah, so they can look.
They have the
whenever
data,
they
right?
want. Yeah.
No, it's not so they can look. It's because they're feeding it into a large language model AI learning system.
Oh, you think it goes into an A? Okay.
Oh, bro, they've been doing this for a long time. So when we were looking at these NSA data centers, and the argument from the government was, we can't possibly look at everything you've ever done. You're right, they don't need to. The AI system will, and it's going to learn everything about every single person. And they probably already have some kind of oracle where they walk in and they go to a computer that's been tracking every single connected person's data since the inception of the internet.
Dude, Larry Ellison's company's called Oracle.
So look at this.
Called Oracle, dude.
Grok is trained on X. ChatGPT trained on articles and Reddit and Wikipedia largely. What about the military's capability? They trained the AI on literally every single human being on the internet's data, conversations, phone calls, that AI exists. Military does have AI. We just don't know the capabilities of it. They can probably go to it and type in, tell me everything Ian has done. Whoosh, bang, they got it. Just like that.
So is this something that you feel like they have, or you like have seen that they're developing?
We know the NSA has had a massive data center for 20 years. We know that the NSA had been downloading and tracking everyone's data online and phone calls. We know that in the private sector, major companies have been trying to get as much data as possible for training models. Elon bought X largely for this reason, so he can take all of the Twitter data and punch it into an AI. They all have downloaded every YouTube video, so they have all of the YouTube data. We know that the military has been working on AI-related technologies since the late 70s. The question then is, if we know that the military has been developing AI since the late 70s, but we don't know to what extent, if we know that the U.S. government has been illegally tracking and storing all of our data, is it then reasonable to assume, connect the dots, they've plugged all that data into the AI technology they've built? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
And if you think otherwise, I think you'd be insane.
Yeah, I mean, that's
You wonder
totally
why it is
plausible.
the Northern Virginia, the North Virginia Data Corridor, they call it. And it's called the Virginia Instance. This is where Langley is, where the NSA, the CIA, the FBI, they have all these servers, and they've been expanding data centers rapidly. That's got all the information of every single person ever. So the U.S. government probably has a machine where they can go in and just be like, I want to know exactly what Kaitlin Bennett did yesterday and today. And it's going to be like, here's a timeline of everything she's ever done. I mean, you don't even realize this. You're wearing a tracking device.
Right.
And so when you go to the bathroom, it's going to be like, here's a full timeline. And they can literally say, I want to know what food she ate and when and how many calories it was. And it's going to be like, she went to Arby's and got a beef and cheddar with curly fries. And then they're going to be like, oh, anyway.
Did you guys hear the Larry Ellison, co-founder of Oracle? He's one of the third richest man in the world, I think. He's tight
He's
with
not.
the administration.
Elon is.
Elon's the
Sure.
first richest, but Larry, I think, is the third richest. He was talking about building a pervasive network. I'm reading it off of the search algorithm of AI monitor cameras, police body cams, vehicle security systems, drones that will ensure both citizens and law enforcement are on their best behavior. These people obsessed with order. Now, Larry, I don't know you yet. Order for the sake of order is not always good. It has a diminishing return. You can get close to 100, but then if it starts to produce evil, you got to lay off and it's like a little chaos is okay. So you don't want these obsessively, rigid systems.
He knows this. The issue is pure order collapses because you need flexibility in a machine to adapt for the unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
So you need about 80-20. You need a certain degree of chaos for mutation. Because let's just look at genetics. Genetic homogeneity results in the collapse of a species. They'll die out.
Yeah.
Temperature will change, oxygen rates will change, and if it's impossible for the species to adapt, they die. However, if there's flexibility, and there is in genetics mutation, then one creature will be born. Mutation could be random, it could be error, but the capability allows for fish to grow legs.
And I think that just like you need some chaos in an ordered system, it's like governments can't be too totalitarian or they too will fall. They need to be able to have a little bit of chaos, which the United States government has a very chaotic system where every 4 years we have a new freaking leader. Like, that's crazy chaos relative to like these long monarchical systems that get overthrown with violent revolutions. Like, we don't need violent revolutions because our system is a revolution. So that's the chaos in the order that we need. And for Larry, you just obsessiveness with order and gathering all the data so that you don't poop until 2 p.m. because we think it's better for you. Like, you're going to have to lay off at some point, bro. You can come on the show.
Pooping?
It's so much order that they want to make sure you don't poop at the wrong time or cross the street when the light is red or say the wrong words because it might upset the environment and
Well, I don't know about any of all that stuff, but we do got to go to Super Chats and Rumble Rants. So
I think about this all the time.
Right on. Well, we're going to go to your rants and super chats, so smash the like button. Share the show with every person you've ever met, even if but only a moment. And before we get into your rants and super chats, we got to shout out a great sponsor for you. It is joincrowdhealth.com. It's open enrollment, my friends, a season where health insurance companies hope you'll blindly sign up again for overpriced premiums and confusing fine print. Don't just take someone else's word. Trust yourself. Take control of your future with Crowd Health, the healthcare alternative for people who make their own decisions. It's healthcare for under $100. You'll get access to a team of health bill negotiators, low-cost prescription and lab testing tools, as well as a database of low-cost, high-quality doctors vetted by Crowd Health. And what if something major happens? You pay the first $500, then the Crowd steps in to help fund the rest. It feels like the options we used to have before Obamacare messed everything up. And of course, you'll join the Crowd, a group of members just like you who want to help pay for each other's unexpected medical events. The system is betting you'll stay stuck in the same overpriced, overcomplicated mess. This year, it's even more complicated because most of the ACA subsidies expire, which means your prices are going sky high. So far, Crowd Health members have saved over $40 million in healthcare expenses because they refuse to overpay for healthcare. This open enrollment, take your power back. Join Crowd Health to get started for $99 for your first 3 months using code TIM at joincrowdhealth.com, code TIM. Crowd Health is not insurance. Opt out, take your power back. It's how we win at joincrowdhealth.com. Thanks for sponsoring the show. Guys, let's grab your rants and chats, my friends, to see what y'all are on about. All right, let's see. Flan the Man says they aren't going to arrest anyone.
Oh, talking about Bill and Hillary, yeah. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
They might try.
Shane H. Wilder. Now, I did want to wait till later in the show to get to this, but he says, rest in peace, Scott Adams. For those that didn't hear, I believe most of you probably did, but just want to say thank you to Scott Adams for all the work that he did, for the laughs. I was a big fan of Dilbert when I was a kid, and I mean this sincerely because the Dilbert cartoon was amazing, 99 to 2000. The best intro for any show ever, and everyone agrees. And it was, have you ever watched it?
I never saw the show, no.
Bro, the Dilbert cartoon was so good.
Oh.
So good.
I read the
and I was
comics.
bummed when they canceled it. I think I was, how old was I? Like 13 or 14 years old? Because I was watching Futurama, I was watching Simpsons. The Dilbert cartoon nailed it. So to see Scott, stick his neck out to join the fight and take the flack that he did and the insults, but for the right cause, it was valiant. It was honorable. And this morning he passed away. So rest in peace, brother. And thank you for everything, and all the work that you did. And I recommend you guys, if you haven't, watch the Dilbert cartoon. I know it's old at this point, 27 years. Can you believe it? But I was watching old clips this morning when I heard that he passed because it's really good. It's a very good show. You should watch it. You should watch it, Ian.
I must, because I didn't I didn't understand the comic when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s. I was like,
it was like a play on. It targeted the stupidity of corporations.
Yeah.
And the corporate life.
And now that I've worked that life, I bet I would get it a lot.
Yeah, and there was 3-panel jokes where
Probably wasn't for kids.
people recognize the stupidity of how corporate offices made you do things.
When I was a kid, I would read it and I'd be like, why is he so bored? This comic's boring. I was like, oh, I didn't
There's
get it.
Dog Bert and Rat Bert. Yeah, it's true.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Scott.
Thinker for Life says, I'm a very proud transphobe for life. Well, there's that meme where they're like, it's not a phobia, it's disgust.
Well, they're pretty violent, so it's okay to be scared of them.
Sometimes. I was thinking it's often as a correlation of the people that can become violent also have other issues, and then sometimes it manifests as trans.
Yeah. Antisocial behaviors are typically linked. They come in a cocktail. So you have one, you're going to actually have 3 or 4 sort of coming in conjunction with it.
Mallow Baby says, you guys were told to keep the narrative, otherwise you lose your network. What network? Rumble?
The narrative.
The narrative?
Are you enjoying the narrative?
The funny thing about like the Dan Bongino stuff is like, we're here at the Rumble Studios, and I was just like, these conspiracy theories are insane because like Dan's a part owner of Rumble, and that would mean that like the people at Rumble have to be in on whatever it is to be in on, and there's nobody doing anything. I got to be honest, and I don't say this derisively, but Rumble is like a very basic office. You know what I mean? Like, they got drinks in the fridge, and then people show up with their, professional attire. They sit at their computers. They do their job. There's little like desks with. It's very officey. It's not.
Yeah, people are expecting like high level political. I was like just chilling over here and by the kitchen. 2 guys come in. They're like, "Yeah, I had shot some great round this weekend. It was great. This golf course.
Is there a Rumble conspiracy I don't know about?
Well, like that Dan Bongino was protecting the Epstein people, and he's an owner or whatever.
Yeah.
There's like, I was talking to Chris, the CEO, and I was like, it's ridiculous because there are people on Rumble with deals with Rumble that call me a shill for Israel, and I'm just like, bro, we're partnered with the same company. What are you talking about? But that's the retard right for you.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So shout out to Rumble for hosting both voices, I guess.
Right.
But I do
When you
have.
put both
narrative.
sides of the coin, you make extra coin.
Could you imagine how stupid you'd have to be to have a Rumble deal and then accuse another Rumble personality of being paid to promote Israel? That would mean you are too. So stupid. So, that's all I have to say about those people. Anyway. Literally, no one has ever told us to say anything. We can literally say whatever we want. We often do on the uncensored portion of the show. Like, literally no one's stopping me right now from saying Israel is gay. I can just do it. I can literally just say it. I can also say I don't really care that much about Israel. They can do what they do. I don't know. It's a foreign country. I care about Israel as much as I care about like Tajikistan or something.
I love the word gay, like Ghey, because you can kind of relax into it.
Gay.
Gay. Yeah.
It's very Mediterranean.
Yeah, like that.
Very Mediterranean way of saying
Yeah, it's
gay,
like cheese, like, isn't there a cheese that sounds like that?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, kind of.
Gruyere. Yeah,
Yes,
it's kind of got
yes.
that. Kind of got that Gruyere vibe. Gay as
Please
fuck.
don't. Please don't.
Skyline says ACLU is not retarded. They are lying like it's 1984. Obey or be erased is what communist has always been about.
Yeah. I mean, I think a mistake some people make are calling like all of these. Some of them are, but all of these leftists writ large idiots. I'm like, a lot of them aren't. They actually know what they're doing, and they have a very specific vision for what they want America to be, and they were going to be very conniving in their attempt to bring that forth. So, not saying a lot of them are idiots, but a lot of these people you shouldn't underestimate. You should take them very seriously, especially when they make threats, because they fully intend on carrying out those threats.
Oh my God. F it button says pre-1964 half dollars, quarters, dimes. Every $1 total of face value you make up from a combination of these in any way is 0.7 of an ounce. Lots of big boy panic when historical resistance was laughed at. I remember I was looking at purchasing sacks of silver coins.
Yep.
They sell by weight. So what they do is they'll fill a sack with U.S. currency from a long time ago, which is all silver largely, and then they'd weigh it and be like, "Here's how much it costs." Whew.
There was a time where I would tell people that if they I had a P.O. box and you could send me either 2 silver pre-1964 dimes or 1 1964 quarter, and I would sign an autograph and send it off to them. And people could, at the time you could get them for it was like $2 for the dimes or something like that. So it was super cheap to get an autograph picture, and now
like that guy that bought pizza with Bitcoin.
yeah, exactly, Well, I have like multiple pounds of silver because of that stuff now.
You ever seen that video of that guy? I think I don't know what news outlet it was with, and they were asking him about it, and she was like, "So you bought a pizza with Bitcoin?" He was like, "It was actually 2 pizzas." Like it was like his last ditch cope.
Yeah,
It was like, "It was actually 2
10,000.
pizzas?"
I think it was 10,000 Bitcoin is what he actually paid.
Literally.
That was one of the first times that Bitcoin was used as currency.
I
don't
feel
know.
bad. That guy's life's screwed because you're just never gonna let that go. How could you? How could you possibly let that go? And all I can muster up is 2 pizzas.
A quarter from 1960 is currently at $18. What the fuck?
Yep.
Because it's all silver.
Yep.
Jeez.
That's crazy, man.
I remember when in the pennies, they had to stop using copper in 1943 because the military needed all the copper. So they started using zinc in the pennies.
Well, they put zinc into them, but they're like copper, I think, was actually like early 80s when they stopped using any copper.
I wonder if the military is commandeering a bunch of the metal right now, and that's why.
I
Well,
have
we'll
nothing
see.
to contribute to this topic.
I think it's funny that everyone thought the Terminator was going to be a robot marching around with guns, just looking at you and then shooting, but it's actually just telling Trump to invade Venezuela.
Yeah, so it was before 1982 copies. Pennies were 95% copper. So if you have any pennies that were made before 1982, they are made in copper. Now, look, I don't recommend that you melt these down because that's illegal. But
I actually bought a bunch of copper because of Ian.
Yeah, I remember that.
What's copper currently at?
It went up 50% over the last year. So it went from $4.20 to about $6.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
It's at $6 right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Up about 50% from 4.
Dude, I have a big box of copper in my closet.
50% gains in 1 year. It's maybe the military is just seizing metal right now.
$6 per ounce. Remember all those copper bars I just bought? Because you were like, you got to get copper.
Yeah,
and I was like,
copper. It's
sure, why
functional,
not?
dude.
And it was like $5 for 10 ounces or something like that.
Yeah, it's
some
so
ridiculous
heavy.
low
That's the
price.
downside is when you have it, it's what are you gonna do with it? But it is a good store of value, that's for sure.
In let me figure out where. Yeah, in in 2020 it was at like $2 per ounce. So it was like $20 for a bar, and now it's $60 for a bar. That's crazy. Man, metal. All right, Big 7588 says, Tim, that opening could get you Hillaried.
Oh,
Indeed. Careful.
Indeed. Alex says, they sent Bannon and tried to send Trump. Why did the Clintons sit above everybody else? Because they've cut a deal with the Koreans.
It's true.
Yeah,
Very true.
so people don't know this, but the Earth is, it's a globe, but the continents that we inhabit are actually part of, it's an inner continent surrounded by an ice wall. And then outside the ice wall, it's called Greater Earth, and that's where Tartaria, Atlantis, and Lemuria are. And it's all Koreans.
It's all Koreans.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
They're
That
all,
makes more sense.
they're all driving. Yeah, they're all driving Kias. You know, everyone's got LGs.
I mean,
It's a good thing.
isn't that where K-pop actually started, right?
It is.
Outside of the ice wall.
Outside in.
Very
Well,
true.
see, what happens is K-pop is old and uninteresting to them now. And so they just discard their old trends to us. And the reason we're not allowed to leave the ice wall is because we do all the slave labor for them. So they're flying around and
And they give us Gangnam Style in return.
yes.
20
Yes.
years later.
So the thing with Korea is Atlantis and Lemuria were fighting, and that's the North and South Korea, because that's actually their entry point for interacting with the intercontinents that where we are all slaves.
Yeah. No,
We're
it's
slaves.
100% true.
I know this because I'm part Korean.
Yeah, Tim's.
I'm called a daywalker.
You got.
Yeah.
Oh.
And a lot of the Koreans, obviously, that are deep in the plot consider Tim like a turncoat because he's actually kind of exposing the conspiracy.
Oh no! They just don't respect you at all. I'm allowed to say whatever I want.
Right.
In fact, I've flown over the ice wall several times. Been to Lemuria. It's great.
How many?
Yeah.
How many K-bucks was it that we determined? What, it was like 10 million or something? It was the
Oh, yeah,
official
yeah,
buy-off price.
Would you rather meet with the leader of North Korea or South Korea?
North.
Okay, who's the leader of South
me
Korea?
too. I don't know.
Exactly. No one knows. He's just some guys. Last name's probably Park.
I want the
No, it's a
famous
woman.
guy.
Oh, it's a woman. Oh, figures.
The only American that's met with the leader of North
No, it's a
Korea
guy.
is
It's
Donald Trump.
It's Lee Jae-myung.
Yeah, no aura. I want to meet Kim Jong Un.
Yeah.
He's actually in the
Ooh.
news. South Korea prosecutors seek death penalty for ex-president Yoon. Wait, what?
Oh, what's going on in South Korea? Maybe we should pay more attention. This sounds
Jeez,
awesome.
this is breaking news.
Jeez, dude, it's getting wild over there. The
Have you guys ever seen Elysium?
Yes.
No.
So, no.
I know about it. I know about the plot.
So there's a space station that's like super nice, and then all the poor people live on Earth. And there's a rich businessman who has to come down to Earth to oversee the factory, and he's like, "Oh, the air," and he's like covering his mouth because it's all filthy. That's what it's like when the Koreans have to come to the intercontinents from Lemuria.
Yeah, we make a
and
lot of
Atlantis.
CO2 in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all bundled
like,
up.
Outside the ice wall, there's 4 nations. There's big, tall, ripped, blonde-haired, blue-eyed people called the Nordics. There's another Lemuria where they all are they're Korean, but they look very different. We call them the gray aliens. I'm allowed to say that because I'm Korean. None of you are allowed to say that. Yeah. Then there's the insectoids of Tartaria.
I'm a
What's
big
the
fan.
What's the fourth alien? There's 4 alien species. What's the fourth one after that? There's insectoids,
Pleiadians?
grays, Nordics.
Oh.
You
God,
don't
no.
know Canadians?
No, Pleiadians.
Oh, I think it's Canadians.
From
That sounds-
Alpha
that sounds
Centauri.
Let's see the reptilians.
Oh, the
Oh, of
reptilians.
The classics.
Duh.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom and his family.
Yeah.
Right.
Reptiles, and then what were the other 3?
There's grays,
Gray.
insectoids, Nordics, and reptilians.
So these are the creatures on their planets that got a hold of psilocybin first and started evolving that frontal lobe.
No,
Yep.
Ian.
Mm-hmm.
These are just the people who live outside the ice wall.
Oh, they made it here.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought this whole time you were just making this stuff up.
No.
Oh,
But
no,
this
I
is
mean,
like
It's
a
real.
whole.
It's real.
it's called the Greater Earth Conspiracy Theory.
Okay.
So
Did it-
there are people who are like, the Earth is flat and there's an ice wall around it. And the
I didn't
greater
know that ice wall part. I knew the
Yeah, the ice
flat
wall holds
Earth.
the water in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they say that if you go to Antarctica, there's an ice wall and you can fly over it, but the military stops you. And it's true, they do. There was a kid who flew a plane and they threatened to shoot him down and he landed. But the Greater Earth theorists believe the Earth is provably round. You can do simple experiments with like a camera to prove that it's round. And so there was this image going viral of Earth, and then the 7 continents we know are in this little ring on the Earth with a big ice wall around it. And the theory is that Tartaria, Atlantis, Lemuria, these mythological ancient, countries exist outside on Greater Earth, and that we are basically slaves that do like cobalt mining and aluminum and lithium mining and gold mining. The reason why we value gold so much is that they have us do the slave labor. So take a look at how it works inside the intercontinents. When we need like sulfur, we have a bunch of peasants with no teeth mining the sulfur. Their teeth fall out of their mouths.
Yeah.
And they stuff rags in their mouths. Liberals don't want to recognize that, right? Well, we're the same thing for them.
Yeah.
We do all the work and they live in luxury.
We're fools doing these spreadsheets for them. And it's so annoying. The Koreans can visit over there. It's like they bought the battle pass. That's what it really feels like. And we're on the outside and they're like, they have the battle pass. It's very frustrating. I would like to see this, but unfortunately I'm cut off.
David Bricken says, welcome back, Ian. We missed you last night with the DMT thing. On another note, if Navarro and Bennett can go to jail, so can the Clintons. No one is above the law.
Thanks for having me, man. Who was that again? That was really nice.
Did you see the show yesterday?
No.
We were talking about the laser experiment with DMT.
Oh, I got a laser to test that. I want to test it.
Yeah, and like the lady was like, it looks like snake skin, and we were all like, yeah, it does to us too.
Did you guys watch the video?
At a laser.
Were you able to? Did you pull the video up on the show?
Yeah.
Man, I want to see it without huffing DMT and like figure it out and try and reverse engineer that realm.
How about you just write down the letters and the alphanumeric symbols, and then compare them and see if people wrote down the same thing?
Are they static or do they change?
They're static.
When I saw them, they were flowing.
What they claimed is that when you point it at the wall, you can see the code, and when you move the laser up, it's exposing the code in the wall. And so when you move back down, you see the same thing again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, write it down.
Yeah.
Give me drywall code.
Yeah.
And then what? Can we like inject code somehow?
Maybe change the sound vibration in the room and see if the code changes.
Can we use lasers to change the code?
Maybe. Yeah, we can use vibration to change the code.
Well, if lasers are exposing it, what? See, if this was real, we'd basically just like, dude, if it were real, you'd blast the laser on a wall, figure out how to extended state DMT permanently see the code of the universe, and then start doing experiment after experiment to see what would alter any of the alphanumeric symbols to alter the code of the reality. And then you'd start mapping what the symbols mean and the code so you can change reality.
And then we'd be like, language.
You wouldn't know.
I bet vibration, because they say the word of God
you would
is
never
like
know.
what creates.
Like, we'd all just be sitting here as the government is doing this, and like, I don't know, like the cornucopia would disappear from the Fruit of the Loom logo, or like Berenstain Bears would become Berenstain Bears. Could you imagine if that's what they did?
Every time I pick up one of my children's Berenstain Bears, I think about that. I'm like,
well, they altered reality, and they were like, we got to do a test first to see what happens. And so they're like, just do something simple, don't do anything crazy. Okay, let's make Berenstain, see if anyone notices. And it changed, and everybody's like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, they're like, swap out Ashley St. Clair's name. No one will notice.
That's right.
There was a scientific study that suggested when you change the present, you're also changing the past. But I don't know exactly how. But I think that it
That's
might.
right, Ian.
Like time
You
is
don't.
not a real thing. You know, time. It's just this constant motion,
Time's
and
a
memories
thing.
are part of that motion. You know.
Time is a
Tim,
time
if
is
you
a
could
thing.
change one thing in the past, what would you change?
Well, there's this really bad guy a long time ago, but I think it was really misunderstood. Genghis Khan. Wait.
So true.
Would
so
you-
true.
Okay, everybody, we're going to the
Did you know-
uncensored portion of the show.
I just want to shout out to Genghis Khan. What a hero! He rescued his wife from slavers that had.
Did he kill his brother or something?
He killed his older brother because he was a
collateral.
fucking maniac and he was stealing food from the family. So Temujin, Genghis Khan, and his other brother went and ambushed his oldest brother in the field with an arrow and was like, no more of this egalitarian from here on out. Genghis Khan.
All right, everybody,
Temujin.
smash the like button, share the show with every person you've ever met at any point. Go through your phone book and one by one, just text all of them. You got to watch Timcast IRL. And then when they text you back, bro, I haven't talked to you in years. What are you doing? You're like, watch it. And you can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. We're going to go to the Rumble Uncensored show at rumble.com/TimcastIRL. But before that, Kaitlin, do you want to shout anything out?
You can watch my content at Liberty Hangout on Rumble and YouTube. Thank you for letting me be here and
Welcome.
chat with you guys. There's a lot of stuff. I have no clue what you were saying, but it's all part of the game.
Right on.
Yeah, it's a constant learning experience for me, too. Thanks for coming, Kaitlin. Everyone, thanks for being here, and it was a great show. Good time back. Check out Graphene.movie if you haven't seen it yet. Check out the trailer for the new documentary I'm working on, Graphene Movie. It's going to be hot. And sign up for the mailing list. Put in your email address, and we'll let you know when the movie's live. Graphene.movie. I'm at Ian Crossland, so follow me on the internet anywhere and everywhere. See you later.
That's right. X and Instagram at Real Tape Brown. Host the Timcast News live on noon on Rumble and across the pond, as you guys have all been clamoring for. We'll be back this weekend, so be on the lookout for that on the Culture War channel.
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. The band is All That Remains. We're going on tour this spring. We're starting April 29th in Albany. We're going to be going for about 3 weeks. We're going out with Born of Osiris and Dead Eyes. So you can go to allthatremainsonline.com to get your tickets. VIP tickets are almost sold out, so go get those now. You can check out the band All That Remains on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, YouTube, and Deezer. Don't forget the left lane is for crime.
We will see you all at rumble.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out.